about that?
I have no idea. We're not live yet. I am going live on YouTube right now, though, gentlemen. Hold on. Here we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the annual birthday event, as I am here with Ian Holt. Our birthday's May 24th. But since it's on a Sunday, we got to do this broadcast tonight. And, of course, Ian is a 72 edition. I am a 73 edition, which makes him much older and far less hair and a lot more wrinkly in all the wrong places and right places. And so, hey, Ian, how you doing, buddy?
How you doing, brother? Happy birthday!
Thank you. And you're kind of new to the whole. YouTube thing. So a few months ago, we started live on YouTube as well. So we start YouTube at the top of the hour, and then 6 after we go to the live radio show, and we're just all over the place. And we got little Richie G here. Little Richie G. You know, I kind of.
Hello.
There he is. There he is. You know, because we love.
Thanks for having me, Dave.
Of course, I couldn't do this without you, man.
Happy birthday, buddy. I can't believe it.
I just can't believe it either. I just can't believe it.
Ian, too.
Oh, Ian. Oh,
Ian, you guys are just like, you age like wine, though.
Yeah. Oh,
cigars,
yes.
too.
Barther L and the Third Nipple Crew, they are in the chat room now, saying this show seems like a dry bag for super chat birthday gifts. Absolutely, Barther. Absolutely. We'll give that third nipple a tweak if you donate $50 or more. That's the way we're doing it. Hey, Ronald, how are you? William? Nuck? Fapster? How's Grandma Rose tonight? How's Grandma Rose tonight? Got to get in the Grandma Rose update. Ian, Grandma Rose listens to us. She's 97 years old, man.
Wow, that's fantastic. Hello, Grandma Rose.
Absolutely. Stu. Such a powerful name in 3 letters. Stu. There he is. All right. Let's see what else we got here. We got Bigfoot, Mr. Michigan Rob, Mr. Apnea, Millennium, Zenzabil. Hey, we appreciate the love around here. Ian Holt will be with us, or he is with us. Little Richie G. There's going to be a bunch of others calling on in as well. There's Peanut Butter Rolls. I expect some really lame snark out of you for my birthday, my friend. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. Oh, let's get to it. Let's get to it.
Oh, my God.
And, oh my God. Oh, my God. Did it just go there? Hey, Rich.
Hey, Dave.
That's my friend Ian.
I'm not supposed to be on camera.
No.
No, I can't be on camera.
Are you simulcasting? Because that's actually kind of cool if you are.
No, I wasn't, because I would never do that to a friend unless they mentioned it first. You want me to? I can do that.
Oh, why why not, man? Why not?
Oh, wow. All right. Let me throw it on up then.
My chat room numbers.
Nice.
My chat room numbers are going to fall dramatically, but that's okay.
No, let's just not do that.
Okay.
Then I won't go.
Right.
I won't simulcast.
All right. Maybe later.
It's your turn. It's your time. It's your day and Ian's day. Yeah, it's everybody's day. No.
Ian, is this our Ian, is this our 3rd or 4th year of doing this?
What's annual? 4th annual.
Wow.
Oh.
4th annual.
And only 2 years ago, someone killed you on this show.
Yes.
You almost died live.
I know. That was the one chip challenge episode, which we were going to do it with Bumblefoot hot sauce, but I just I forgot to get it. I had a bunch of other stuff going on. I forgot to get it. Don't tell Bumblefoot, though. By the way, Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal, we are expecting a phone call in tonight from our resident guitar god. And I will not be taking calls at that point. No offense. But, yeah, hold on. And let's start that up there, because that's a good way to get things going. Hi, Rich.
Hey, Dave.
Hi, Ian.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Hey, Ian.
Hi, Ian.
Hey. Hello.
Ian's from New York, too.
Really?
Yep.
Well, it's going to be a fun time talking to Bumblefoot, because I was just telling Dave that I went to school from elementary school through high school with Bumblefoot's drummer, Mike Portnoy.
Yeah.
For Sons of Apollo.
Oh,
That's awesome. Hey, there's Goofon in the chat room. Look at that.
yeah, he showed up.
Look at that. I heard his real nickname online is Space Minge.
Oh no, is it really?
Yes. Yes.
That's awesome. I gotta remember that.
Space Minge.
Why is that funny?
I don't know. It's horrible. All right, everyone. Here we go. Birthday show getting underway here. Music is on.
Oh, we're going. Okay.
Okay, what do you need, Ian? Quick.
I just want to say that I wanted everyone to put in a good thought and a prayer for my friend Melvin Cole. He's a veteran on this Memorial Day.
Absolutely.
And he suffered a stroke last. So everyone, please.
Here we go. Here we go, buddy. Hold on. From the mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I'm your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show on our terrestrial affiliates across North America and digitally on TalkStream Live and Revolution Radio. Now, if you want to take a listen to our archives, they are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our Twitter handle, @Spaced Out Radio for the show, and my personal handle is @DaveScottSOR. Make sure you give us a follow. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR, Newswire, and much more. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by visiting Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. It's another trip around the sun for old Davy boy here and one of his best friends in this entire field, Ian Holt. As May 24th, we will celebrate a great, great day. So we're holding this impromptu party, as we do every year for the 4th year in a row. We are allowing ourselves to kick back, relax, and guess what? We're going to do something that we don't normally do on this show. We're going to take callers. Yes, we are taking callers tonight. Now, it's not that I have an affliction against taking callers. It's that I have an affliction against taking callers. I'll let you figure out which side I'm on that. But Ian, happy birthday to you, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate you coming on here for the 4th year in a row. And out of the 3 and out of the 4 years, I'm not trying to kill myself by eating extremely hot potato chips.
Well, happy birthday, brother. And it's great to be back. And we're going to have a big celebration.
Absolutely. Now, we've been joined here by little Richie G from Goof on Radio, because Richie's one of the best friends that this show has in this field and one of the best dudes out there. And I just like, Richie G, you got to come join us. You got to come join us. And so he's like, maybe if I find some time and, powder my nose, wash my hair, shake out the gout a little bit and, maybe. But he made it. And it's good to have you here.
Let me
Richie.
tell you something, brother. I'm always here, brother, even when I'm not. Happy birthday, brother.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. It's always a pleasure to have all of you guys here. And I got to say this. This show is really dedicated to the fans. It really is. Everything we do on a nightly basis with Spaced Out Radio is really about the fans. It's really about trying to, bring a message across that will allow all of us to get together, hang out, and talk about some really weird and interesting topics, whether it's from the horror and paranormal genre that Ian is in to the UFO genre. And, we're blessed, man. We are blessed to have people and good people coming on in on a nightly basis who we've been all able to bond with as a guest. I mean, I look at Rich, I look at Ian, I look at people like William Pullen, Chris Cogswell, and a number of others. Varla Ventura, I think she's going to stop by in about an hour. And, it's just amazing. It's amazing to be able to celebrate. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn the topics over to all of you tonight. If you're in one of our chat rooms and you want to hear us talk about something, you ask the questions. You guys out there in our chat rooms and in Radio Land, you are going to dictate tonight's show. And I do believe, if you haven't heard already, that we are going to get a nice phone call from Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal. That's if he's not working too late in his studio, because the man is always working. I think he sleeps about 17 minutes a night, literally, because he's always working on some sort of music or some sort of production. So we're going to see how that goes later on in the show. Ian, what's some of your birthday traditions here?
On the show or just in general?
In general.
Usually it's a lot of good food and a big giant cake and spending time with my friends and family and my girlfriend and everyone. So it's a shout out to Pam and my cousins Ellen and Davion and Paul, and we just have a big party. And this year, there'll be a little social distancing, but we'll still have a big party.
Well, that's good. That's good. Are you still a cake guy? Do you still need to have a cake? I'm an ice cream cake guy, man. I need my ice cream cake for my birthday.
I'm a cannoli cake guy. Got to have a cannoli cake. But I think this year we're doing key lime pie cake.
Oh, I got you. I've never had a cannoli.
You never had a cannoli?
I've never had a cannoli. I've seen them. They look good.
God. Oh, it's the greatest thing ever invented.
Rich, how many?
Sad for you.
Yeah, I know. You should. You're Italian as well, and your mother probably made really good cannolis, homemade from scratch. Probably had a nice. No.
No, we get them up the street at the bakery. That's what we do in New York. Get them at the bakery.
We got best cannolis in New York is Ferraris in Little Italy.
That's probably true.
Oh man.
What were you going to ask me?
Well, I was just going to say, what's it like having some cannolis there? Because old Davey up here stuck in the west coast of Canada, I don't even think a Canadian knows, outside of Montreal, knows what a cannoli is.
It's like the rapture, being with the most beautiful woman in the world, and your best friend all at once.
Oh,
it's just
so kind of like a Tim Hortons ice cap.
Yeah, it's like, you remember that old commercial, Caledon, Take Me Away? That's a cannoli.
Rich, I'm going to need a ruling on this.
I'm checking with my history. I would have to agree with that, and that what he said, it's perfect, because when they make the cannoli, they use this little pouch with the little, and they squeeze the pouch, and it comes out the tube, and then they put it through one end, then they turn it around and they fill it up on the other end. So it's a perfect thing, perfect way to describe a cannoli.
Now, this is something too that my girlfriend got for me. It's like a bowl of the cannoli cream, and then the shells, break them up, and you dip them in the cream, and you eat them like salsa and chips.
Oh my God!
It's the greatest thing of all time.
Oh, well, tonight was my father's birthday. Okay.
Oh,
tonight was my dad's birthday. And I'm trying to. He knows he's supposed to be down here by now, because I wanted to introduce dear old dad to all of you, and Dave Senior. Good old Dave Senior. He has a power mustache, like incredible lip blade. I've never seen him without the lip blade in my life. And yeah, I mean, that lip blade is older than I am. And yeah, it's impressive. It's impressive. He's never nicked it. He's never accidentally shaved it off like I did with my beard. Okay. Nothing.
He's a real man.
Real man. Real man.
We're not men. We're not men.
No, absolutely
No, we're
not.
not.
You know, and anyways, I'm trying to get him down here so that way we could wish him a happy birthday as well, because, you know, he's kind of cool that way. Never had an experience in his life. It's kind of boring. You know, he does not. I'm going to hit him up if I think my dad actually does eat breakfast for dinner too. As sickening as that is, I think he does. Ian, what's your thoughts there on eating breakfast for dinner?
Oh, I'm a big breakfast for dinner fan.
Oh,
Are you kidding me?
yeah. You probably cheer for the Mets too.
Ham, eggs, and mozzarella with some grits, and I am good.
I'm telling you, you probably cheer for the Mets as well for eating breakfast for dinner. That's all I could say.
No, I haven't cheered for the Mets. I'm not a masochist.
Oh, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. But you know what, gentlemen? Let's get to some audience questions here. Yeah, what do you want to say there, Ian?
I said I'm from the Bronx. My family's from the Bronx. New York Yankees, born and bred.
God bless the Yankees.
Dave,
Yes.
about the cannoli,
Yeah.
just so you can get an idea of what it's like. Have you ever had cookie dough raw?
Yes.
It's almost like that, but creamy.
Oh.
Capiche?
I think I just gained 7 pounds thinking of that.
That's exactly what it's like.
God bless him. God bless him. All right. Little Mark.
You can be in a bite of a cannoli. Everyone takes a bite. The conversation all stops, and it's dead quiet as everyone just has a moment of heavenly joy.
It's true. 100%.
All right, let's get to some audience questions here. Little Marky Spender, who just pigged out at Chinese food at my place and ate some cake, some birthday cake, says, "What is with that hair? You already know. You are jealous because, you know, you're losing yours. You're losing yours. You know? I mean, you're going to say, Mark, you're the type of guy right now, buddy, and I mean this with all due respect, you're going to have to start combing your back hair upward to cover up the bald spots. That's where it is, man. That's where it is. Hey, can't make this up, but I love the guy. I mean, this is my friend, okay? Every time we go into the forest, he goes, because he's the armed guy. He's our security out there when we're out looking for Bigfoot. And every time we walk into the forest, the first thing he says is, remember, if a grizzly bear charges, I'm shooting you in the leg. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Mark. All right. Rich, you could probably take this question from Jason, who is asking, what do you think happened in Brazil with that UFO?
Oh, if it was a UFO, I know people saw lights. Okay, there was something, but no crash happened. So whatever that 15-second video was where the person went through the barricade and videotaped something in the distance, to me it looked like a button or something that, you know, like a button on a coat. It looked like they placed it close and gave the illusion it was big, because there's no follow-up story to it yet. Nothing else is coming out of the area. Yeah, supposedly video cameras were taken and the evidence was whisked away, but I don't see that. There's no follow-up. So to me, there was lights in the sky, but I don't know what they were, to be honest. Nobody knows.
Oh, Ian, did you hear that story about the weird lights over Brazil again?
Yes, I did. And like everything else, you know, you see these lights and what the hell are they? I mean, we have documented this over and over. Now the U.S. government has confirmed that there are lights and things flying in the sky. So we can definitely say they're UFOs. I think that's what we can say. They're unidentified. I think that's the fairest thing to say, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'm thinking that if I could say anything about this, I think there's not enough evidence, and to me, it looks like lanterns. Looks like lanterns. You know?
Oh, you're talking about that one video. Yeah, looks like lanterns.
Totally looks like lanterns. It's dots. Rich always talks about it being dots. Absolutely.
Yeah, dotology is the new term.
I like that term.
And they're not a ball lightning, I'll tell you that.
No.
Absolutely. I don't know. I think there's something, but then again, in Brazil, let's be honest, before we, put our skeptical hats away, and we got to bring out some tinfoil here. But the whole point is, I really do believe that Brazil has had some weird cases over the years, man. There's always some sort of UFO incident happening there. It's very, very weird and strange how they get all the good stuff.
People got attacked. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's the land they're on. I think, there's definitely the lights over the Mayan pyramids that we see. And I think that land was occupied by the different tribes going way back. I mean, Mayans, Aztecs, whatever, right? And I think they have a long history of it. And I think that's why you get more stuff there.
I agree. I absolutely agree. Hold on. We got a call coming in here. I have a feeling I know who this is. This is our resident legend, Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal, calling on in. Where did he go? I'm going to give him a call because for some reason that just did not work. He's going to call in, though. He's trying to call in. All right. For some reason that did not work. Let us go like this and try and dial him in. Oh, let's try this again. Did we get him that time? For some reason, it's not adding. Oh, and my father just showed up. My father. Hey, well, don't be coughing on the air. Dad, come on. Hold on. I got to try and figure this out because I know Mr. B is trying to call in here. My father just walked in. We got Ian Holt. We got Rich Giordano here. And there, let's just try this. We're going to add him in. I know he's trying to get in here. 1 second. Hold on. I better not say his number out loud. I hope this works because we are trying to...
Call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
Like this.
7 3.
Oh, don't want that. All right. We'll figure it out. Try that again. Let's try this again. Hold on. Don't go anywhere. Gotta love the technical difficulties of trying to pick up a phone call through Skype. We have to love this. I think this is the man, Hello. The myth, and the legend all rolled into one. Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. It's your birthday, right?
In 2 days. But today is actually my father's birthday. Okay. And he's hanging out here as well.
Happy birthday to your dad. Happy birthday to your dad.
Mr. B, I got to tell you, man.
What's up?
I got to tell you, man. You are absolutely phenomenal, and we sound so good because of you. It's all because of you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
I have so many of our listeners.
Thank you for using my music.
Oh, I have so many of our listeners who come up and say, dude, how did you get that song? Who wrote that song? Because they may not be familiar. And then when we tell them, all of a sudden, like a day or two later, they're like, holy crap, I am downloading all of this music now. And now they're buying hot sauce. They're buying the hot sauce.
Oh, nice. Well, I'm going to have a good announcement by the end of the month for people in Canada that want to get the hot sauce. I can't say it yet, but it'll be more easily available in Canada.
Right on. That'll be a very, very thrilling. Now, but the problem is we need a tour. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, there's this whole virus thing, kind of in the way. Yeah, I don't know when the doors are going to reopen to the planet. I mean, it's happening little by little. But so here's the issue with that is you have all the touring that was going to happen in 2020, and you have all the touring that was going to happen in 2021, and now it's all being crammed into 2021, which means that half the people that wanted to tour, all the venues are booked up, the ones that survived, and everyone already pre-booked everything. So half of the bands out there, they already have all of next year booked up, and it's going to be just like people just lunging at anything they can get as far as booking shows. And then the same thing is going to happen the following year. Like, it's going to take a while for this to even out. So touring is going to be, there's going to be a whole lot of shows, but there's also going to be so many bands that want to get out and play, but all the venues are booked.
I bet. That's horrible.
Yeah, so it's going to be a strange time for booking.
I got to ask you, the last time we had you on the air, it was Halloween of 2018, and you told a freaky story about how you guys were playing on the air, on stage, and there was like a ghost or something on the air or on stage with you, messing with your gear.
All kinds of weird stuff was happening. It was when we played the ancient Roman amphitheater in Plovdiv, Bulgaria, and all kinds of strange stuff was happening.
By the way, I watched that. I watched part of that today with Comfortably Numb. You did absolutely awesome.
Oh, thanks. Thank you so much. Well, now here's a question for you.
Yes.
All the declassified UFO stuff that just came out.
Yes.
Tell me about it. What's your take on it? What's your everything?
I think it's real. I think the government is really much pushing forward with some sort of tease for us, but I think there are those in government who don't want it to go through, because there's a lot of technology, which means a lot of money for the military-industrial complex that could eventually come out, and there's a lot of secrets they don't want us to know. I mean, as I always say, for people who've had experience with aliens, it's always aliens, and for those who haven't, it's never aliens.
Yeah, I have a different take. I think all the kids that are like our age, that grew up with In Search Of and all the Ancient Alien shows and all of this, they are now the guys in charge. And I think that they want to know as much as we do. And I think that's why this stuff is coming out. It's just like when John Carpenter's The Thing came out, everyone said it was horrible, all the reviewers, right? But our generation loved it. Now it's considered a classic because now we're in charge. Yeah. So I think it has a lot to do. I think there's people out there that grew up with this and believe it or want to know the truth.
Hey, Mr. Thal, I'd like
prove it or disprove it. Mm-hmm.
I'd like my friend Rich Giordano. He's a real UFO guy. As we got just about a minute here before we go to break, I'd love him to break this down because he has an interesting take on this.
Great.
And what part of that, Dave? Real quick.
Well, just in regards to the videos, Mr. B wants to know what you think about the UFO videos.
Oh, the 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I have no idea, to be honest with you. I think now my mind has changed that it might be, Dave, some sort of hologram experiment, because now that NASA is doing some research with 3D in the air, what do you call it? Technology, 3D technology, holograms. It might have been a hologram. Now we're hearing stories that 40-foot Tic Tac could have been the size of a briefcase. Very strange times that we're living in. I'm not sure what they were. I think something's wrong with them. Something's wrong.
But if a hologram.
Ian, hold that thought, because we're going to go to break here at the bottom of the hour. It's the birthday show right here on Spaced Out Radio. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal joining us with Little Richie G and Ian Holt as he's celebrating his birthday with us. We'll continue right after this. And Mr. B, if you got to leave, I totally understand. But if you want to hang out, you're more than welcome because we kind of like you around here as we play your music in the background right now.
Well, likewise.
I got to say, man, I don't know, because I remember meeting you in Vancouver in 2015 where we kind of partied all night. And that's where I first tried your hot sauce. And you got pissed off at me because I had Paradise City playing on as my phone ringer, and you didn't like that. So I had to turn my ringer off. And but
I'm sure I didn't mind.
No, you gave me a hard time, which was probably deserving after the tour from hell. And anyways, I gotta say, you would have just written "Little Brother is Watching" for that. And the more and more I study the lyrics to that, it was like it's like synchronicity, man, that it was literally written for this show and neither of us knew.
Yeah. Like, it's kind of worked out.
You're kind of deep that way, man. You're kind of deep that way.
I'm gonna blow Mr. B's mind. So, do you know who I went to elementary, junior high, and high school with? He introduced me to
Mike
rock and roll.
Portnoy.
Yep. Oh, you
Mike
heard you were
Portnoy.
listening. Yeah.
Yeah, Dave told me. Yeah, that's small world shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's. I remember I was his roadie for his first band, WDFA. We don't F around.
Wow. That's so funny. I'm going to hit him up and tell him.
Yeah. What's with his green goatee? What's the story behind that?
Well, it's blue. Why? Has it turned green?
Well, it looks green on camera, unless my eyes are that screwed.
No, usually it's blue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, son of a bitch.
But that's just his thing.
It's awesome.
His best friend, one of his best friends from school, Pam Selmaggi, is now my girlfriend. So, I mean, it's even deeper.
Oh, wait, what's her name?
Pam Selmaggi. You probably met her.
Pam Selmaggi.
Pam Nardone, you met her.
I got to remember that.
Or her maiden name, Pam Nardone, or married name, Pam Nardone, Pam Selmaggi. Maiden. And Franz, the drummer, her son, who's hanging out with Mike. So, there's a lot of connections there.
I always say in music, there's just 1 degree of separation between everybody. It really is.
I mean, we got Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Like, when you take any musician, then there's just 1 degree of separation.
Or here.
Well, I got to tell you, the new Apollo album is out of this world.
Oh, cool. Thanks. Yeah, shit, man. I got to start writing the third one. We're supposed to be working on that, and I've just been busy making little acoustic songs. I got to get to work on that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Where do you find time, though, man? Like, where do you find time?
I don't. From the minute I wake up to the minute I go to bed, I'm working and doing stuff. And it's not just making music. Then there's, video editing and, a few hundred messages every day that you got to sift through and taking care of all business stuff and some new app that I got to promote. And then I got to make files and upload them to Line 6 marketplace of presets. Like, it's just endless piles of to do. Yeah.
I do have to say, as we got just a couple minutes left here, my son literally watches you every day on YouTube. Every day.
He is such an adorable kid.
Oh yeah. He is. I used to be his hero, until he saw you play guitar. You took over, but that's okay.
I got to get out there and give him a guitar lesson.
No, you're too busy, my friend. You're way too busy, and it's just the way it is. But no, you're doing great work out there, especially for kids with a good influence, man. And for my son, he watches you on YouTube, and he tries to play like you play, and he's like, Dad, how come he's so good? And I'm like, that's a lot of practice, son. A lot of practice.
Practice, dedication, practice, focus. That's all. Anyone could do it.
Absolutely.
If you love it, you just.
Yeah, I do. Definitely do.
Yeah.
It never gets boring. Well, the thing is, you have to make sure that you keep it interesting so that you don't get bored with it and it doesn't. Yeah, I find that diversity is the key. So having something like Sons of Apollo and then doing acoustic stuff and doing other things, it keeps it interesting. I think if you do the same thing day after day, you just start feeling mechanical and robotic, and you start to disconnect.
Or when I was a kid, we with Steve Vai used to give lessons around in Long Beach, and one of my friends was taking lessons from him. This is before he got big, and he said, he said, either you got to love it or you got to stink it at school and have no other way to make money. So you just practice all day because it's your you have no other option.
Ron, how old were you when you first picked up a guitar?
About 6.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. My son has time to make it yet.
Yep.
As long as he still continues down the metal road, that's all that matters.
Oh, he's playing country.
Oh, fathers, take that out of here. One sec, guys, because we're just about to come back. And hold on, get out of there, Dad. What the hell are you doing? All right, thank you, BGs, for the super chat. We're going to get going with the second half hour here of Spaced Out Radio. My dad's still hanging on out, and everybody else is. Richie G's still here, too. Stop coughing. Here we go.
I didn't cough.
No, that was my dad. Here we go. Welcome back to the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show. Now, if you have missed portions of this show or others, you can check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Our Twitter handle at Spaced Out Radio. Give it a follow, along with my personal handle at Dave Scott SOR. It's the birthday show. I got my dad in here right now because it's actually his birthday. Mine's in a couple of days. Same with Ian Holt. And we got little Richie G here from Goof on Radio. And one of the greatest guitarists listed in the world right now, Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal. They're all joining us. We're talking music. We're talking haunting. It's true, though. The magazines even said, you can't, I know you blush. I know you hate the compliments because every time I say something, you kind of go, well, whatever. It's true.
You know,
number 8. You're number 8 in the world.
That's unbelievable.
I know.
No. Don't believe anything you read.
Sure. Sure. He's number 1 in our hearts, though.
You know, you're too kind. You know, I've been doing a lot of extra reading, even more than usual. Usually I wake up in the morning and read all kinds of things about everything. But I've been going deep. I've been going super deep, down to the point of where I'm having trouble sleeping because I wake up in the middle of the night with some epiphany that I can't remember by the morning about something cosmic. For example, neutrinos. You know what neutrinos are?
A little bit, yes.
The breakfast cereal from Kellogg's. Yeah, it's like this peanut-flavored breakfast cereal. It's sort of like Captain Crunch without the berries, and really good neutrinos. Well, there's like positive and negative neutrino. There's like an anti-neutrino. There's all different types of neutrinos, and there's one that they think exists called a sterile neutrino, and it dawned on me that perhaps a neutrino is sort of trying to find it would be like trying to find the 0 point of a wave, like a sound wave. You know, its amplitude, it goes up, and then it crosses a 0 point and goes down, and then a 0 point and it goes up, and 0 point and goes down. So is it possible that the reason that we can't find these things is because that is what exists at that 0 point? So it's trying to hear a sound with no volume and trying to locate and find that sound. Like, how do you locate a sound that has no volume? Where it does have volume, it's just the 0 point of a wave. So it's trying to find zero in a way. How do you find it?
I have no idea.
I guess you have to trace the motions of things and everything around it. And when it suddenly has an absence, within that absence, we can theorize that it must be there. Now, can we apply that to all things in nature and the universe? Because really every single thing that we are is a piece of the universe. You know, we are the same cosmic dust. We drink the same water that ancient Greeks drank. You know, the energy, the particles don't go away. They don't change. They're always there.
New matter
and they just
cycle.
Yeah, they just reconfigure. They reconfigure. So we are the reconfiguration of past things.
That's a
so
lot.
Now,
so
that means that if there are other life forms, then could we be a piece of them as well? Or does it go deeper than that, where there could be all this dark energy and dark matter and all of this stuff out there, and are they made more of that? Like, take a black hole, for example. Is it actually a black hole, or is it a dark energy star? There's this is what wakes me up at night.
Well, that's what a dark energy star is. It's a black hole. Pretty much.
I mean, dark matter could be the alternate universes we cannot see. So, when you talk about different realms, I mean, if all matter and energy is recycled, and you take the idea that there is a soul and there's an Akashic record, then that energy gets recycled into a different realm, our souls. So you could say, when you see dark matter, that could be heaven. That's one realm. And then you can have hell as another realm. So, I mean, what we consider in our religious texts as heaven and hell could be different dimensions or realms within the universe. And all energy, we move from one recycled in or reconfigured into the next realm, and that's why we can never see dark matter or dark energy.
So is it one or the other, or is everything both? Because if the universe is made of both, then we are made of both, and everything must be both. Maybe not must be, but could be. And I mean, considering the space itself just in between our atoms, which there's more of that than there is actual particles. So what is that stuff? And if you think of it that way, then perhaps, man, I should do drugs.
You totally should.
I should really start doing drugs. I should start.
I would be stoned with you after that conversation.
I think my dad listening. I think my dad listening in would even get stoned with us for this.
Nice. I've never gotten stoned, at least not by choice.
Me either.
Or recreationally, yeah. But I bet it's fun. Anyway, all right, we're off track here. So,
especially the pink. You go to some scary places.
So now, if we're going to talk about aliens and stuff, if they are made of the same cosmic gunk that we are, we can't prove or disprove. So we have to accept the possibility that it can be, or maybe not. So
well, I think everything science. I mean, up until 5 years ago, the thought of being able to contain data in an electromagnetic field was a fantasy. Now they've done it. So, I mean, in that sense, if you can take energy, electromagnetic field, and store data, then that's almost proof of a soul. That we are not just, it's not just in our cells or in our neurons, but it's in the energy in our aura, in our body, and everything. So I mean, science usually catches up eventually in some way.
True. I got to ask you this: out of all the places that you have been on tour, you've flown hundreds of thousands of miles around the world, and you have literally been on the bus touring around. Have you ever seen strange lights up in the sky and wondering what the hell is this?
Not that I remember. Nothing in the sky. Seen a lot of strange lights. No, I haven't. I have not. I've experienced a lot of things in this world, but not that. But that doesn't mean it's certainly possible. Again, I can't prove it or disprove it.
Wow, you're sounding like a real skeptic here. Real skeptic. No, actually the opposite. I'm completely open to every possibility. That it's true or, that it exists or it doesn't. Like, I can't prove or disprove either one, so I have to accept the possibility of everything. Yet when you were playing in Plovdiv, which my friend Bart here actually had an incident in Plovdiv as well while he was performing or helping out behind the scenes of a tour a number of years ago at the same area. And you're getting your guitar untuned and everybody else's instruments are getting around or getting messed up. Had that happened ever before while you've been on hundreds of stages around the world?
No, never happened before. And this one show, right as I'm about to start playing, suddenly one of my strings goes out of tune, and there's a lock on the tuning system where it won't go out of tune, and it went out of tune. And then at one point, it was like the guitar pick went flying out of my fingers as if someone like yanked it out of my fingers, and it just disappeared. It was nowhere to be found. And all the other picks were gone, which I think just local people stole them all. But they were all gone. So I didn't have a pick. And just by chance, I happen to have an extra one in my jacket pocket, inside pocket. I reached in there and grabbed one. So that happened. And then at one point, I'm like, kind of legs are stretched wide and I'm playing, and suddenly, boom, I fall forward, and it felt like I was pushed. And there was no one near me, and that has never happened before. I've not fallen on stage, and that happened. And then, like a few songs later, the lights come on, and the pick is right in front, like centered exactly in front of my mic stand on the floor, facing me. It's like, what the fuck? All right. So that, and then right as I was about to I was going to be taking the solo for Comfortably Numb.
Yes.
And suddenly my like pedal with all the sounds in it and everything that I needed, just locks up, and the buttons, I'm hitting them and they're not doing anything. I had to shut it off and turn it back on. And I got the power back about maybe 5 seconds before I had to start that solo.
Wow. Now, I've been watching a lot of that on YouTube. Can we see any of this happen on camera? Did they catch it on camera?
I don't think so. They had so many cameras everywhere and just edited all different scenes and everything. So I don't think any of that ended up on there.
Wow. Was anybody else? Was anybody else in the band having anything happen to them as well?
Well, I know Derek, our keyboardist, said that his glasses, his sunglasses, came off, and they just went straight down into like a little crack in the stage, it would be like dropping a quarter from 6 feet up and it landing exactly like in this little space, and glasses just disappeared into the crack.
That is so
Well, they
weird.
say stages are the most haunted places because there's so much emotion portrayed on them. And, especially coming from the theater and film, old sound stages, old theaters, they have the most energies on them, around them, surrounding them, because of of the excitement of the.
Yep, and this one goes back a few thousand years, good 2,000 years or so.
Yes. My friend,
Yeah.
my friend Bart,
Well,
my friend Bart says that Plovdiv is a very evil place.
well, can you imagine someone from 2,000 years ago hearing you plug in your guitar and hearing that music? He probably thinks like the world is ending or something because of how loud it is. He probably scared him, and he was like, "Stop!"
No kidding.
Some old Rome.
No kidding. No kidding. I got to tell you, I could just imagine what it's like. I mean, you got thousands of people that sitting there listening to you play, and then all of a sudden your guitar goes all wacky, and you have no control over it, and you're like, it's the ghost. I swear it's not my talent. It's the ghost.
You know what? There are stage ghosts everywhere, I think. There's all kinds of crazy things that happen. Yeah. Stages can be pretty dangerous. I've seen people fall off them. Seen some bad injuries. Yeah.
What's the biggest paranormal story you've heard from around your friends in the music industry? I mean, people talk.
Oh, damn, I don't know. I'm thinking. I know there's something. I know these conversations have happened at some point. I don't know. I used to definitely have my own when I was a lot younger.
Are you psychic?
Well, the greatest ghost, Marlena Dietrich. She was getting older, and she made some comment about her having the best dancing legs of any star. And she went out and danced, and she says that, the story is she fell off the stage. She says she was pushed and she broke her leg.
There you go.
Arrogant so that was her story.
Wow. Richie, you're awfully quiet over there.
Oh, I'm just listening.
Mm-hmm.
But, a stage, mistakes are going to happen. People are performing and and it can get slippery, or, they may step on a cord, get tangled up. They don't realize it. There could be a lot of explanations, but I don't know. I wish I could have those experiences on stage.
Oh, yeah.
I guess we do, Dave. Don't we, you and I, have some similar experiences? I've had my dog bump his nose on my leg, but he's dead, so it's like, how did that happen?
Oh, yes. Aliens showing up at the window, ghosts turning your microphone on and off. It's kind of weird. Now, Richie, you're coming back on the show on June 18th. And you should tease Ron here, because he's a big fan of the Ouija board.
Oh.
When I was really young, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Come on, Rich.
You want me to just it's hard to be brief, but I will try. 2 years ago, the week of just before Father's Day, well, I tried making contact with the devil a year before with the Ouija board. I wanted to sell my soul to the devil. I wound up doing 122, 25 Ouija board sessions, trying to every way possible, yelling, cursing, screaming, 5 to 20 minute sessions. And never captured anything. So I called him out, you're a jerk, I mean, I had the, 2 cameras going, 2 audio recorders trying to catch stuff, just nothing ever happened. Very little. I had a pig snort, heard dishes rattle when I played the recordings back, but nothing moved. I could never get the planchette to move. So I was calling him out. But one big mistake, and I didn't know you had to do this because here I am thinking, what's a Ouija board? I forgot to say goodbye and close every session. So I had opened up 120 something portals.
Yeah.
And well, I had an experience because I was denouncing the devil. I said, you don't do crap for me. I'd found a necklace, and it was one I got when I was 13. It has a cross with Jesus on it. My mother gave it to me when I was 13. I thought I had lost it until just now, well, 2 years ago. I put it around my neck, and it was, I'm a little bigger than I was, so it hangs up around the throat area. And the day I put that on was Tuesday, and from Tuesday night through Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I went to an emergency center. I was throwing up, getting weak, and when I went to the hospital, and just trying to jump forward here for you, they took x-rays of me, and the doctors, my parents were there because it was Father's Day on Sunday. He goes, do you practice any sword swallowing like magicians? And and I go, no. And he goes, come on. And I said, why? And he goes, you see all this dark area on the x-ray? He goes, your entire esophagus is bruised from top to bottom. And that just can't happen from eating a taco. So because that's what I thought happened. I had Taco Bell Tuesday, and I thought maybe the chip got stuck. But he said my esophagus was bruised as if I was sword swallowing or being physically choked. I had lost my voice, but I was able to talk enough that I went on somebody's show, and he said, you had a spiritual attack. When you put the necklace around your neck, and you denounced the devil, and you put the cross of Jesus around, what do you think happened to you? They attacked your throat. You work for a living by using your throat. You do your show for, you use your throat. You need to talk. Well, anyway, that happened 2 years ago. A year to the day, my dog died on Father's Day. And this year, just recently, I had a similar attack, and it was just a month ago. So anyway, it's still happening. That's the gist of it now. But
it's a good story. It's a good story.
I know. I told you, I don't know where to stop that story because I can just keep going.
I hear you.
Well, I'll tell you what. I when I was a kid, thanks to Jason Horst from Ghost Hunters, I was having experiences for years, and Jason helped me figure out that I had opened a portal and didn't say goodbye when I used the Ouija board. And he told me I got to go back and say goodbye, or these things are going to keep happening. So I think you got 25 goodbyes to do.
Exactly. Exactly. Gentlemen, I'm going to get you to hold on. We're going to hop out for a break here in about a minute. Mr. B, do you have to get going?
Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate that.
Yeah, probably should. I got another day in the studio tomorrow. Yeah.
I appreciate it.
All right. Well, it was great chatting with you all. And happy birthday to Dad and to you in a couple of days and everybody.
Hey, one quick question from Bart in our chat room for you. Are you ever going to change your name to Bumble Squatch?
Wasn't planning to, but never know.
Never know, Mr. B.
Why not?
Hey, yes. Once again, I want to say
my new name.
I want to say
right now.
I want to say a big thank you to you, heartfelt, from me, everybody involved with Spaced Out Radio, and each and every one of our listeners for allowing us to get to listen to your beautiful music each and every night here. We couldn't be as good as we are without you and your incredible talent. And thank you so much for being a part of this show and being who you are, because you're one of the real class individuals out there. And, even though you're only a couple years older than me, I look at you as a real idol and a real hero.
Oh, man. Well, thank you so much. And a big thank you to all the listeners, because they're the ones that keep it all going.
All right. Little Ron Bumblefoot Thal taking us out into the break here. Hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio coming up after this. Mr. B, thank you so much, man.
Thank you. It was a pleasure chatting with you all.
Yeah, we'll do it again.
You too.
Nice.
Thanks.
All right, Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal, everybody. Let's give him a round of applause here. Give him a round of applause. Thanks, boss. I appreciate it. And we'll make sure we
keep.
You
guys all have a great weekend.
Yeah, and we'll make sure we keep pumping your music and pumping the hot sauce out there.
Cool, and hopefully I'll see you all when this wackiness is done.
Absolutely. Thank you, boss. Appreciate it.
All right. Have a good one. Be safe. Have a great one.
Take care. Good night.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
How friggin' cool was that, guys? How friggin' cool was that?
That was great.
Exactly. Everybody in the chat room, I also want to let you know, Dad, are you going to bed? My father's going to bed now. He's getting tired. He's getting tired. So what we're going to do is let's give my dad a round of applause for his birthday here. You know, everybody out there on YouTube, lad.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, everybody give.
Senior.
You know, we'll give him a good clap here. Father likes a good clap every now and again. You know, he's hanging out. He's really enjoyed the love that all the Spaced Out Radio listeners have shown him tonight. So, yeah, big thumbs up. Hold on. I was bragging about your lip blade here. Come here. Richie, check out this lip blade here. Hold on. You got to get in the camera. You got to get in the camera.
I saw it earlier.
Look at that, Rich. Like, look at that. Look how tight that is. Hold on. You'll get it in like 20 seconds here. But that lip blade is older than me. Older than me. When did you start growing that?
18.
I know, but what year? 68?
Oh, that was when I was born.
67? 67. So that lip blade is like 53 years old.
3.
Holy cow.
Right on.
Holy cow. There,
Here
everybody's clapping for you here. Look, hold on. Here it comes.
Coming.
Here it comes. Oh, damn it. We got it a little too high. Just give him a little rub on the old lip blade there.
I saw it before, though, when he was in front of the camera sitting in the chair.
It is a beautiful lip blade.
Yeah, it's tight.
All right.
That's a tight lip blade.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Everybody's loving you, Pop. You want to say, well, you can say goodbye to them. You got a microphone right here.
Thank you kindly to all. Have a great night. Thank you very much.
There we go. That's the Pops. That's
Nice.
the Pops right there.
Cool.
Yeah. Good night, Dad.
I think I could do your dad's voice.
Oh, I think you could too. All right.
Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great night.
Hey, thank you.
That was pretty good. That was pretty darn good right there.
We're going to have to compare. Ron sent a message over Facebook saying thank you and everyone. So how cool was that shit right there?
That's awesome.
Now I
can't believe your dad came on. That's
I know,
so cool.
I know. We're going to open up the phone lines if Skype will allow us. And it isn't going to be a real jerk here. So we're going to try and open up the phone lines here when we come up here.
Cool.
All right. Varla, I think, wants to come on. Let's bring Varla in here. Hold on. Hold on. Let's bring her into this call. Let's bring Varla in because she wants to hang out with us for a bit too.
Cool. I saw that hologram theory.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere. The Bumblefoot hologram theory?
Yeah, I mean, if it's a hologram, well, I'll wait till you're on the air.
Yeah.
But
that's what I said. I was saying it was a hologram.
All right. Cousin Gary. Cousin Gary, hold on one second. Hey, Cousin Gary, you got a power lip blade too, my friend. Cousin Gary C is in the chat room. That's my dad's cousin too, actually, as well. Hi, Varla.
Hi. Happy almost birthday.
I know. I know. I appreciate that. Skype.
Happy birthday week.
Skype is not allowing me to pick up calls. This piece of shit. I hate this bloody system. I got people calling in.
Can I do something different? You want me to call into the call-in number?
No, we got you. Varla, we got you. I got other people who are trying to call in, and I can't take their call.
Well, you have me, so, you know.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to add these people here. As soon as they stop, we're going to add them. Hold on. Let's see who's calling in here. Because I got their numbers here. We'll do it the old-fashioned way. This is why I don't do calls, people. Is because I have to rely on this stupid Skype. All right. We'll see who's going to pick up here. Who is this? Hey, put your put your phone on mute. Well, I had to boot that one. That's definitely a listener. Oh, now they're calling back in again.
Okay, they just need to turn the radio off, right?
Yeah. Honestly. So Skype has this button that says you're allowed to connect a call, and it will not allow me to connect a call. It will not allow me to connect a call. I'm trying, Mr. Barther. It will not allow me to connect. All right. I'll call you back. If that's you, Barther, I will call you back. And now I'm going to go here. I hate Skype. Hate Skype with a passion. Let's go here. Turn your radio down.
A call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
Sorry, I
is not available.
I know.
That's funny.
I know, like he's trying to call in.
No,
and
we
it
should
says
have left the voicemail. That would have been hilarious.
It says answering this call will place your current call on hold and merge the calls. Guess what?
You want to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I hit the button and nothing happens. Nothing happens. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. This is Microsoft technology, and they want us to trust them with giving us vaccines. Let's see if this one worked. No, that one didn't work either. Okay, if you're calling in and you want to call... Oh, somebody called in. Hello?
Oh, something's on.
How come this one worked? Hello? Who's... I don't know. Oh, they hung up. They hung up. Now, why did that one work? It did merge. All right. Let's just start. I'm getting pissed off.
Price guide and
don't ruin your good birthday vibe.
I'm not ruining the birthday vibe. You know, I'm not ruining the birthday vibe. Here we go. Music's on, everyone.
Listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow
stuff.
Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show, especially if you're listening in on one of our terrestrial affiliates across the continent and on TalkStream Live and Revolution Radio on the digital side. Remember, you can check out all of our archives for free by checking out youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Let's find out what that is. What is that password right there? Ochlysis. Ochlysis? I don't know. Anyways, the Clam sets a password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and doing a little shopping and reading at Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. We really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. Now, it is the birthday show tonight, and so we got Ian Holt here. Ian is with... Well, he's just one of my favorite guys because we share our birthdays together. And, you know, and I got to say this. We got Little Richie G, and we have one of my favorite cryptid people of all time, the one, the only, the talented, the lovely Varla Ventura is here. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Is this me you're looking for?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. Let's see if Skype's going to work here and actually allow us to take a call here. I don't know. Okay, so what we're going to have to do here, everyone, if you want to call into this show, because apparently Skype is not working. Skype is apparently not working the way it's supposed to right now. What we need to do is we need to get you to call into my Skype line. So go to Spaced Out Radio Dave. If you have Skype, call in at Spaced Out Radio Dave, and we will be able to check you on out. We really will. We'll be able to check you on out. So, Spaced Out Radio Dave, call there. Because apparently the phone line is not working. So anyways, it's just us three hanging on out. How you doing, little Varla Ventura? Welcome to the birthday show.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for allowing me to pop on to your birthday show. I have a birthday present for you.
Oh, do you?
I have a couple birthday presents for you.
Do you?
So one birthday present is I made a donation to the Chive Charities in your name.
Oh, sweet.
Since I noticed that you post from them a lot on Twitter, and I kind of checked them out, and they look legit. So,
of course,
that's one of your birthday presents. So, happy birthday!
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And that's actually kind of cool that you did that. That is very, very cool. Very, very cool. Thank you. And Varla, you've been coming on this show for almost a year now. Every couple of months. And, at least. I got to ask you this. What cryptid haven't we talked about that we have missed out on?
Have we not talked about? Let me think. I think we've talked about changelings, right? I feel that, and we've talked a little bit about pukas, right?
Yes.
So let's see. We've talked about vampires. We've covered werewolves. What else is out there that we just haven't? We talked about mermaids the very first time. So
ice gnomes.
Ice gnomes. We haven't talked, but we have talked about gnomes a little bit in the very beginning because
I know
Dave used to not like gnomes very much.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, we talked about the Scandinavian or the Icelandic trolls. I don't know if we've really talked about those too much. We kind of touch on Dogman now and again, which kind of ends up crossing into werewolf territory in my mind. So,
right.
I mean, we bounce around a lot, Dave.
Cool. Hey, we actually got a caller through now. We got a caller through, and it is Science Bob. Science Bob.
What's up? What's up, Dave?
How you doing, Science Bob?
Happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. And to Ian as well, man. Ian is one of the good guys.
Happy birthday, Ian.
Thank you.
That is very cool. Science Bob, hold on. We're going to see if we can add one more in here just because we can. See if we can. There he is. Caller, Agent Willis, just hold on for 2 seconds here. Science Bob, you're a guy of science. You're a guy of all things. I mean, you wear a lot of black clothing because, you're like a man in black. Be honest. You got some aliens over there or what's happening? Where are you hiding them aliens?
I can't tell when they're coming around or not, but they just every now and then come around. Usually as orbs.
I know. So, Science Bob, just out of curiosity, are you going to catch borrow one of them alien spaceships that you got hidden in your garage down there in Bama? And are you going to fly on over here and, pick me up? We'll go pick up little Richie G and then go over and pick up Ian and then, I don't know, let's go party somewhere.
I'm going to grab my fancy cameras, night vision and all that other stuff, and we're going to go find some woo.
Oh, that's a good idea. That is a very, very good idea. You going to hang out for a bit?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see where's Agent, where did Agent Willis go? Is he still here?
Gorin Scares there, Dave. It's William Pattison, a.k.a. Agent Willis, a.k.a. the King of Splatterpunk.
Nice.
And I just came on to sing you happy birthday.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dave. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. That's nice.
Unfreaking believable.
You know what? I can guarantee with a high pitch like that, you were fronting some 80s rock band. You had to be.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, that was beautiful. Thank you so much for calling in and singing happy birthday, man. Appreciate that. Varla, what do you rate that? What do you rate that, Varla?
I rate that probably a 10 plus. I mean, that's a very unique birthday song. So
I agree.
It takes courage to come on air and sing.
Totally does.
Yes, it does.
It totally does. Totally does. Thank you, Agent Willis. We'll let you go and head back to your listening device. Really do appreciate that, man.
Thank you much.
Take care.
All right.
That was awesome. That was
super awesome.
Yeah. I'm trying to connect with people. I know a lot of people are trying to connect with us. I'm trying. Yeah, Ian.
You should do a duet with Biz Marquis.
Oh, yeah.
You got what I need.
Mm-hmm. Ian, didn't that remind you of the days of when all your friends were sitting around, singing around along the street corners, and then they decided to start Public Enemy? That's how it went, right? That's how it went, right?
How it went. That's exactly how it went. They were street corner singers. Actually, they were DJs. They would yell over the mic, and that's how the MCing started.
That was right after the doo-wop era.
Yeah,
for real. Cowboy, the corner guys. Yeah, they always hung around in the corners,
like the guys in Rocky.
Like the guys in Rocky, right? And the Sopranos.
That's awesome. That's awesome. See, we didn't have that up here in Canada. Not where I lived, at least. Didn't have that.
But we got to go back. Have to go back to the subject. This is really bothering me. I've got to ask this question. We were talking about the footage that was released by the American government of the UFOs. And I think Rich said that they were holograms. So I mean, it's heat sensitive FLIR footage. So I'm wondering if it's a hologram, how do we get the heat signatures coming off of it? It's a hologram.
It's even a bigger deal. You can't get a radar return off of a hologram, and Kevin Day and his crew watched them for hours.
See, there you go. That's because the hologram is one of the best guesses.
Voicemail of Robin St. Charles.
We're taking Kevin Day's word on it without evidence. That's kind of hard, but I don't see why he would have any reason to lie. But there's always something that keeps us from seeing what we need to see. That's what bothers me. They want to call this drip disclosure. This isn't anything more. I think this footage doesn't really tell us anything. Could be experimental drones. I didn't see anything that acted like a ping pong ball in a box, as described by the guys flying the airplanes.
Right.
So when you have a FLIR and it's a regular aircraft, you can see rotor wash, blade wash, jet exhaust, all that stuff. You see none of that in those videos. It is not an airplane.
On one of them, you do see a plume, though. There's like a weird plume that it doesn't like elongate like a plane or a jet, but there's some kind of plume coming off of it. It's really weird.
That could be propulsion, then.
That totally could be propulsion. Totally be propulsion.
Yeah, but it's like a normal propulsion. It probably is propulsion, but it's just that it stops. It like stops dead in the air and like hangs there. It's really weird. Giorgio Spookles thinks that it's preparing us revelation because the aliens are coming back to announce themselves.
Yeah,
the first stage of that.
Hey, 1 second here, everyone. We want to give a shout out to Bill Hauser. Bill Hauser is here tonight, hanging on out. Hi, Bill.
How you doing, Dave? Happy birthday, and happy birthday, Ian.
Thank you, Bill. How are you?
I'm doing very well, and yourself?
I'm doing great. I'm having a ball.
Excellent.
Me too, man. Me too.
I got it. I was watching Ghost Nation this week, and they had a ghost box on the episode. Not the Ghost Nation wasn't using it, but someone who investigated first did, and came through on the ghost box. They asked, they believed there was a murder in the house, and they asked the ghost box, "Were you murdered?" He said, "John stabbed me." Came through the ghost box, and it turned out that when they investigated the murder, it was a guy named John Mahoney, who was an overseer it was on a plantation, and one of the slaves was going to be whipped, and he would refuse to be whipped, and he hit the overseer with a stick, and the overseer stabbed him, and the overseer was cleared of charges, but his name was John Mahoney. And then in that same breath, when we just had this great revelation, Jason Holt said that they don't consider the ghost box a legitimate tool. And when I heard that, I thought of you immediately, and I was wondering what you would say to that.
Right.
Well, that's quite funny because a lot of paranormal groups now have a ghost box in their toolkit. So, it's gotten more recognized probably in the last few years than it's ever had before. So, but again, he's always been a little bit kind of skeptical on a lot of different techniques in the paranormal.
Oh, for sure.
And it was particularly weird because the ghost box named the killer, so something named it and exactly how he died. The ghost box was spot on, and he blew off the stab me part of it and just said, "Oh well, John's just a common name, so that's why it came through." Like he totally dismissed it. I'm like, that was the spot on answer that turned out to be true, and he totally blew it off. And I was like, I was surprised by that because he didn't give it any respect.
Oh, I hear you. Bill, what are you working on next?
What was that, Dave?
What are you working on next?
Just doing YouTube videos lately, and been doing private sessions for people on Skype. So that's basically what I've been up to. Awesome, man.
Awesome. Well, I want to say thank you for calling on in. I'm trying to get other people in here, and really appreciate you being a bi-monthly guest on the show, man. A lot of people love it. I know Chuck down in California absolutely loves listening, and a number of others in our chat rooms do too. You do one hell of a job, my friend.
Well, thank you, Dave. And you guys have a great weekend for your birthdays, and just have a wonderful time.
Appreciate that. Bill Hauser, everybody.
Wishes.
Well, thank you. Okay, you guys have a good night. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Gotta love Bill Hauser. Guess what, everybody? We're going to make a call. We're going to make a phone call here. Hold on. To Grandma Rose. Now, Grandma Rose, if you don't know who Grandma Rose is one of our, well, she is probably our oldest listener. She's 97 years old. And she listens every night with every Friday night with her grandson Fab. So let's call Grandma Rose here. This is going to be good. Science Bob, you stay right there, man.
I'm here.
Come on, Grandma Rose. Come on, Grandma Rose. Hi, Grandma Rose.
Hi, how are you? Happy birthday.
Thank you. How are you, Grandma Rose?
Oh, I'm doing fine.
Yeah?
Thank you.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm so excited to actually hear from you.
I am too. I'm happy that we finally got to do it.
So at 97 years old, do you believe in aliens?
No. You got me a year older than what I am.
Okay, 96. Sorry. At
That's better.
At 96 years old, I just got schooled by Grandma Rose, everyone. I feel shame right now.
That's okay.
Okay.
You should.
I totally do. Do you believe in aliens, Grandma Rose?
Sometimes I do, but they kind of scare me when you talk about it.
Yeah? What do you like what we talk about? What's your favorite?
Oh, anything that you say is very, very interesting.
Even with my Canadian accent?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's wonderful. Grandma Rose.
Yeah, I hear you never heard of a cannoli, huh?
Well, I knew what they were because I watched Cake Boss, but I've never tried one.
Oh, you haven't lived until you have a cannoli. Especially one that I used to make them all the time.
Oh yeah? Do you still make them?
Oh yeah. No, it's kind of hard now.
Oh, I see.
Hard for me to stand up that long and I'm have to worry about making the cream, which takes a long time, and it takes a lot of time. But they were the best.
All right, we've got a few people up here. Varla Ventura is here. Science Bob is here. Little Richie G. Ian Holt. Grandma Rose, would you like to ask any question that we can answer for you? You got the floor here, Grandma Rose.
Not really. I mean, I'm just so happy to hear your voice. That's enough for me.
Oh, I'm blushing now. I am totally blushing right now.
Oh, are you?
I am.
I didn't mean to have it.
Do you like my hat tonight? Are you watching on YouTube?
Well, I'm really not that crazy about your hat. I'd rather see you without the hat.
Okay. I'm taking it off for you right now. I'm taking it off for you. Do you want me to undo the hair too?
You should take the hat off. You have beautiful hair. Show it off.
Well, according to Michael in the chat room, I don't. He thinks I look like a homeless person.
Oh, shame on them. Shame on them.
Exactly. Says I look like a Canadian Randy Quaid.
Shame.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of a compliment.
Oh, hey. Grandma Rose is awesome, and I love the fact that, and just watching the comments in the chat room right now, that Grandma Rose is.
There you go.
You're.
That's more like it.
Thank you. That's for you. That's
you
for
look
you.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Very nice now.
I am handsome and dapper. Handsome and dapper.
Yes, you are.
So, Grandma Rose. The big question is, the big money is, when this whole COVID thing is over and they open up the border again and we end up having our Las Vegas party, are you going to join us down there?
Well, I sure hope so. It would be nice if I could. My grandson's got to come with me.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Uh-huh.
He can totally come. He can totally come with you. Of course, he's invited.
Sure.
Right?
Oh, wonderful.
Yes. And then you and me, and we'll get little Richie G there, and Science Bob, apparently he's pretty good at blackjack. We'll all go sit around the blackjack table. We'll smoke some cigars and have some scotch and play blackjack all night. Are you in?
Yes. All except I don't smoke and I don't drink. I'll just sit and watch.
You got to play, though.
I'll get my own machine. I'll go and find my own machine.
No, you got to play. You got to play blackjack or something with us. You have to.
No, I'm gonna go sit with Grandma Rose and play the machines. I'm with her.
There you go.
Oh, that makes sense.
Penny slot.
That totally makes sense. That totally makes sense. Grandma Rose, we got to go to break here, but I want to say that we absolutely love you, and thank you so much for being a fan and listening to us and being a part of this.
You're welcome.
And I hope you read
the joy to listen to you whenever I can.
And I hope that you get the opportunity to read a lot of the comments in the chat rooms and on Twitter, because everybody loves you. Everybody loves you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Much love to you.
You take care of yourself now, okay?
Okay, I will. I promise you. I promise you.
Okay, and a happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's too bad life is like it is today. I wanted to give you a hug.
Oh,
but that's out of the question.
Soon.
A birthday hug.
Soon. We'll do that. Grandma Rose, Science Bob, Varla Ventura, Ian Holt, and little Richie G. It's the birthday show here on Spaced Out Radio. We continue after this.
Okay.
Grandma Rose, everybody. Grandma friggin' Rose. Yes.
Yay, Grandma Rose.
Big and beautiful.
Absolutely. How wonderful was that? How wonderful was that?
It's the best.
It was nice on this side. So
Good.
you take care now, okay?
Okay, we love you, Grandma Rose.
Okay, we love you too. Happy birthday again.
Thank you. Good night.
Okay. Good night.
Good night.
Night.
How awesome was that? What a lovely woman.
What a lovely woman.
That was unreal.
I'm with her though. So it's all about the slot machines, you know?
Yeah.
You can win big.
Hey, Dirty Fylth, how you doing?
Oh, not too shabby. How are you?
Good. Dirty Fylth Science Bob is the guy who did the art of you and
the artwork. No, I
Yes.
really appreciate the artwork.
I'm sorry I didn't give you too much on top.
That was friggin' hilarious.
No.
I'll be right back, guys. You guys chat. I got to take a bathroom break here.
Oh, well, happy birthday, Ian. I didn't really say that to you when I came on. Happy birthday.
Much, thank you. It's hard to believe it's been a year already since the last show. I can't believe it's been a year.
Now, where do you live?
I'm on Long Island outside of New York.
And how are things there for you? Are you in like still major I have quite a few friends in New York who are just really locked down still.
We are here too, you know, and I've moved my parents in with me after my mom had a stroke, and they're 93 and 89, so I haven't left the house because I don't want to get them sick.
I know, that's the scariest.
I haven't been able to see my girlfriend, nothing. So it's been like an Animal House. I feel like, you know, double secret probation. This is like double secret lock.
Yes.
But we have tomorrow. The beaches are going to be open, even though it's going to rain. But the beaches will open this weekend, so we'll see how that goes. They said they put out an advisory because they didn't open the New York City beaches. So they opened the Long Island beaches, and they told all the people from New York City not to come. Oh yeah,
good luck with that.
Because you know how well New Yorkers like to take directions from Long Island.
They invited them, it probably wouldn't show up. But the fact you tell a New Yorker no, they're first doing it.
Yeah. Oh man.
So. And I live right on the beach, so I'm just like locking my doors.
Right.
I feel like we're back in like elementary school. We all have the cooties.
Yeah. Right.
The thing I can't even get a vision of in my mind is social distancing on the subway.
Oh, you can't, right?
Yeah. How do you do that?
No one can go back to work here because they put on TV to show us how safe it was. And all the guys, they had these guys with the spray washers and cleaning all the subways and mopping the floor. And then and they're like, "That's how safe it's going to be." And then that night, the report comes out that you can't really get it from touching. You can only get it through aerosol, from breathing, coughing, sneezing. So they do all that work, show us how safe the subway is, and then the report comes out. It's like, nope, sorry, no one's going to get on that subway.
No, it's a confined space where all the particles will hang in the air.
Well, and can you imagine if you don't have it, but like, you know, you just sneeze, you have an allergic reaction to something, or sometimes you just sneeze and then you're stuck on this subway and you sneeze. And it would be pretty unpopular.
No. I went to I went over to the grocery to get some stuff, and I'm waiting online at the self-serve pay thing, and we were all social distancing, but then I just coughed, like just a regular cough. I don't know why. I just coughed, and everyone is turns around, looks at me. He coughed. Virus.
Burn him!
Burn him!
Terrible.
People are really scared. Yeah, I mean, and the funny thing is, you have, you know, it's gotten so political because one side, the Republicans want to open, the Democrats want to do the science. So, anyone that has a haircut now, because or is cleaned up, doesn't have a corona beard, they go, or all the women, all the Democratic women, because they have like the dark roots or the gray hair roots.
They're crazy.
What's wrong with the gray hairs, man? What's wrong with the gray hairs?
So and all the Democrats have the masks on. So I mean, it's become really silly. It's like, who am I voting? You can tell who someone's voting for by what if they're wearing a mask or not. And I keep looking at people, and I keep thinking of the 1990 Batman, when Jack Nicholson put the poisons in all the makeup goods, all the makeup and they had all the anchors on TV on the news. They had pimples and they had bags under their eyes. That's how everybody looks. Like nobody. It's unbelievable. And I'm waiting for the vaccine to come, and that's when we're all going to get turned into zombies.
Oh, yes. Everybody hold on, because we're about to come back here. And I apologize to anybody who is trying to call in, because this Skype system is not working properly the way it's supposed to. I'm very frustrated by it, and I wholeheartedly apologize. But music's on, everyone. Welcome back to the second half of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I'm your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We appreciate all of you tuning us in tonight. We want to remind all of you that if you've missed portions of this show or others, you can check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including Rockin' Out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, and my personal handle at Dave Scott SOR. It's the birthday show, and Dirty Fylth just hung up. He's the guy who does all of that great artwork on our website. And we got Science Bob with us. We got Varla Ventura. She's in her pajamas because she was at a pajama paranormal party. We got little Richie G, who's walking around with an alien mask on, and I hope he has his sunglasses over top of it. And birthday boy, much like myself, Ian Holt. Everyone, welcome back to the show. Really appreciate it.
It's a great show, Dave.
We're doing it.
Absolutely.
Oh, I was muted. I said thanks.
Oh, that's nice. Hi, Richard.
How you doing, Dave?
I'm good. Fylth said that he dropped out because he didn't want to take up a spot anymore.
Aw.
Yeah. Terrible. Terrible. And, well, either way, it's a birthday show. And, we're taking your questions in the chat rooms. And so if you guys want us to ask the panel anything, it's pretty relaxed and chill around here tonight for the birthday show, as it normally is. So, yeah, we're just waiting for you guys to hang on out, ask a question, and, be with us. Be with us. Hang out. Let's talk some UFOs. Richie, fire up a UFO question. I think Science Bob may have an answer. I know you got some UFO questions out there, because I know you have a real crush on Stephen Greer. Okay? I know you do.
Oh, yeah. He loves him.
Oh, yeah.
I have a question.
Science Bob, do you love... who do you love in this field, Science Bob? Who do you love?
Love. Well, I listen and read books written by Richard Dolan. I like listening to Grant Cameron, and I listened to you. And when Rich was on the show, I listened to him. So I'm pretty new to this field, Dave. I haven't been around forever.
I hear you. But you've got the credentials, man. You got the credentials. You know?
Well, I mean, I've been a scientist forever, but I mean, my UFO credentials are as thin as a slice of very thin cheese. I mean, I'm just not. I don't have many. Look, I'm doing Sky Hub, which I hope will be a big deal. It looks like it will be, and we can get some UFO evidence without a shaky video and have a bunch of other stuff go with it. So I hope that has a big impact. But until it's out there, my contributions are yapping with you and talking over things with people, trying to find some science. Talk science with Cogswell. It's just I'm trying to get involved and do stuff, and hopefully it turns out well. But I don't have these big credentials a lot of people do.
I gotta ask you, who's your favorite wrestler of all time? And we'll see if Little Richie G can actually imitate that wrestler.
Andre the Giant. Andre the Giant.
Okay, here we go.
I'm number one.
Not bad, right?
Not bad.
That's actually pretty good.
Wow. That's pretty good, Richie. Oh my goodness gracious.
Okay.
Never practiced that once.
That was beautiful. I'm calling someone right now.
Especially later on when he got muffle mouth.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, he was drinking like 40 beers a day.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, who's this?
This is Overbuilt Automotive from the YouTube.
Hey, Overbuilt Automotive from the YouTube. Why have we not got a date update? Okay, so for people who don't know,
I think I cursed to myself when I was on there because I haven't seen the beautiful lady at her place of work. But the more likely thing is I've been going by there in the evening, and about 3:00 is, I think, when the cutoff time is for her shift.
Got it. You got to ask her out. So I got to let the fans know who may not be listening or may not know. A couple weeks ago, Overbuild Automotive was asking on the after party that we do while I'm doing all the editing for the radio show. And he was asking about dating tips. And so we literally did this for like an hour. We've been waiting for an update on whether or not he actually followed our dating rules that everybody in the chat room gave him and I gave him. And so the date hasn't happened yet. That's what it comes down to. The date hasn't happened yet.
No, and I guess you could consider me a pud or just working too much and not getting by there. It depends on how you want to look at it.
Gotcha. Well,
one of the two.
Yeah. Do you have a question for our panel here tonight?
Well, I don't know. What does she think about Dogman? She think they're real? Do you think they're out there lurking in the woods going to get you?
Yeah, I think that I'm assuming because I mentioned Dogman earlier, I think that there's a bunch of sort of hybrid variations of things that are like wolves, essentially werewolves, that have just evolved in different places. And there's a version in the Deep South, there's a version in the Great White North, and they all have a lot of similarities, at least in folklore. I think with any of those kind of cryptid creatures, I actually do not think they come looking for us or stalking us. I think it's more of a just like any kind of wild beast in the territory.
Yes, I think wrong place at the right time would be a good one for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, what's kind of neat about this subject is there's a guy on the YouTube that does Dogman encounters and that thing, and he's actually been having a gentleman on there lately who's claimed to be a government agent working for the underground. I mean, underground would be a proper way of putting it, but he claimed that they've got werewolf soldiers, around 48,000 of them, and they're doing a soft disclosure via his channel, which they've chosen.
believe it or not. And it's been quite interesting to hear the guy carry on with it. Don't know what to make of it.
Excellent. Hold on one second here, because we got another call coming in. Peanut butter rolls. You just hold on one second. Somebody was going to respond to Overbuilt. Who is that?
Yeah, that was me. I had a interesting theory about these cryptids. If you go back to the Anastasi text, it says that the aliens down were doing
power on Bluetooth pairing
and creating creatures.
Bluetooth.
So I'm wondering if the chupacabra, the dogmen, all these creatures that we see that are seen aren't like genetic experiments. I mean, if you believe
that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, it's the only thing I can think of to explain it, because if they were,
and their attitudes speak a lot for their supernatural spiritual tendencies. I mean, if you look at something just kind of common sense wise, if they're not very nice creatures and they're always kind of in a really, really bad way, that might mean they've been probably quasi invented by a nefarious entity. So
yeah. And if they were a true species, we would see more of them. There's always like one, and then we don't see them for a while, and there's another one. And I the only way to explain that, in my mind, is if there is really just a couple of them, and not a full species that are mating and having babies and all of that. So that would be the only explanation that I could think.
There is a lot of Dogman Encounter videos on that particular cryptid, though, and the werewolf, which is I kind of think, now that I've been studying in on it, maybe this werewolf creature is more like what the Gugwi or the I can't think of the name that they use in Louisiana for it. But anyway, it's like a short-faced Bigfoot that's mean in the South. Whatever, they got different names for them. I think a lot of people are misinterpreting them as Bigfoots, and they're not. And that's what this guy on this other YouTube channel, Jeffrey Nandley's Dogman Encounter, if people are interested to go check it out. I think I pronounced that last name right. But any which way, it's easy to find by that. And it's just a trip. The last 3 months has been a trip on that channel. It's just the whole thing's a trip.
I'll tell you something real. When I went to Romania, when you leave the airport, there's like, it's like a very rural area, and they have like these almost like log cabins. But every house in that area, and what's really funny is Romania is always known for vampires, but that's the real origins of the werewolf is in Romania.
Yeah, they got shutters. They all got shutters out there, don't they?
Shutters, yeah, that come to a cross. And when I was first there, I thought they were like for gun turrets, like when you had in the Old West in case the Indians came, and attacked you. No, every night they close these shutters and they form a cross, an opening it's like an opening and it's a cross to scare off the werewolves.
Yeah, they got to be truth to that. They got to be some truth to that. That's for sure.
The house has it, and got to be something to it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of encounters around. I mean, when you run across one or two things around here, you mention it to people that don't go out in the woods around East Tennessee here, and they're like, just look at you like a deer in the headlights, like a drunken deer in the headlights a lot of the times. Or they have their own story to say where they got kind of freaked out in the woods because everything went quiet or whatever.
And I'm sure there's probably more sightings in a place like Tennessee because more people hunt there. So they'd be out in the woods anyway. So there'd be more people to see it.
Yeah, my funny thing about human nature is the guys that don't hunt, but they're around and they're around these parts and then they haven't seen anything. It's just human nature, no matter where you're at, I guess, is to dismiss things that you can't see, touch, or feel. And they just think it's crazy. I guess because maybe it's because we're all in front of our TVs too much. I don't know.
Also, I think people want to talk about it because people think they're crazy. So I bet more people have seen it than it will admit.
I had a good friend in high school disappeared and nobody seen a hide in the hair of him. He went hunting one day and never came back. I have no idea. Nobody knows anything about it. You know, it's just like you get up one day, say hi to your wife, and you leave. You go out, go hunting for deer, and next thing you know, where you at, right? So who knows what happened to him? That's the only story, personal story that I have.
All right. I do have to let you go because I do have other people waiting in line here. Overbuilt, thank you so much for the warm birthday wishes. Really appreciate you being a listener almost nightly in the chat room, too, man.
Have a warm birthday. Have a happy birthday. I hadn't even told you happy birthday yet because I was rambling on, wasn't I?
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye, brother.
My brother lives in Louisiana, and I have heard what they call the rougarou.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Well, I've heard it.
Well, what does it sound like, Science Bob?
It sounds like a howling wolf. It's supposed to look a little bit like a werewolf, except they call it rougarou.
It looks a lot like some of the almost like 1950s horror movie type werewolves.
Yeah, then they call it rougarou.
Mm-hmm.
Peanut butter rolls.
Well, the weirdest.
Hold on one second. Peanut butter rolls is here.
Head.
There he is. Hi, Peanut butter rolls.
Hey, Dave. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Doing good. I just wanted to call in and say happy birthday, and I love your show. And
thank you.
I've always. I called in last year, remember?
I totally remember, man. I totally remember.
And I'm glad you have Richie G on. Richie G makes the show, man. He really does.
Richie G is a rock star. He is a rock star.
Rock star.
I'll guarantee you the minute Richie G walks out of his condo in Phoenix, he is handing out autographed 8x10s to all the fans who are lining up. Guaranteed.
I wouldn't doubt it, man. And but I just, like I said, I just wanted to call and say happy birthday, birthday boy. And hey, I'm glad you showed your dad. You know.
Oh yeah, man.
You showed up on camera. Yeah, that was great. That was great.
Absolutely.
So, anyway,
thank you, Peanut Butter Rolls.
Betcha, man. Bye.
Take care. Good old Peanut Butter Rolls right there. That's awesome. Richie, how many autographs you signing a day? How many Sharpies you going through?
I've got to go through 2 a day now.
Nice. Nice.
Big ones.
See, Science Bob doesn't have to do that because when he goes outside, he actually disguises himself. He disguises himself, puts his cape on. You know, he puts his cape on and his his Lone Ranger style mask around the eyes, so nobody recognizes him. You know, he's like the old wrestler, the Repo Man. You know, nobody recognizes him. Yeah, Ian.
I have a question for a resident cryptid expert. Yeah. Have you heard of, or what do you think of the melon heads?
Oh, I've heard of them. I don't really know very much about them, actually. I think that's kind of more of a... So I tend to look at a lot of older stories and old folklore and then compare that to more modern stories. And I don't remember really coming across that in like some of the old folk and fairy lore. What do you know about them?
Well, supposedly the story is in Dracula Hills. That's the actual name of the area in New Jersey. There was a sanitarium there that got taken over by a scientist who brought troubled and wayward youth there that he was trying to experiment to make them more plump. And he did injections into their heads, and their heads became bulbous, and they became even more feral from it. And there was a fire there, and they believed the kids set the fire because they were almost being tortured, and they escaped. And this group of, with these bulbous heads with no hair, almost like animal-like, live in the forest there, and they mate, and they have kids, and they eat people. And there's been so many disappearances there, and there's been limbs found and all kinds of stuff out there. And there have been a lot of sightings.
So if they are mating and they're having more melon heads than whatever he actually did to them must be some kind of advantage if their species is still surviving, right?
Yes, I mean,
not that I'm advocating for anybody to go out there injecting anything into their heads. Of course, we don't need to do that. But that's interesting if it's multi-generational, because I do think about that sometimes. Like, how is it a genetic mutation? Is it a story that has been embellished upon, and to the point that we see what we want to see? Not this story specifically, but any kind of folklore or cryptid tale. Definitely serves that purpose of keeping kids from, getting lost in the woods or going down by the swamp. But if they're not too many generations back and still being seen, then somehow that gave them an advantage to continue.
Well, if they're 50s, the fire happened in the 50s, so you have to figure that it's 3 or 4 generations if they're still around.
Right. I mean, it could be.
I mean, would you consider that a cryptid, or because now if they are a species, even though they're man-made?
I think I'd probably put that into certainly into the sort of like creepier category of cryptids. So somewhere in between that and cryptids don't have to be of olden lore. It's just kind of where I specialize. I tend to get into the early werewolf and fairy stories and puka stories and things like that. So I've never heard of that, but I've heard of so many sanitariums where horrible things happened that I guess it's not really that surprising, but so many haunted, really just incredible places around, especially around the United States, where we had a great many sanitariums.
And they took all these kids supposedly from orphanages. They were bad orphanages, so they had no families. No one was looking for them. So it seems there's a ring of truth to it.
Yeah, no one's looking for them. No one's checking on them.
That's scary.
It is scary.
And
it's like a Stephen King.
Exactly. Oh, that's a beautiful picture Science Bob just posted, wearing his cape. That was beautiful. Came out of nowhere. Science Bob dropped a big cape on us. That one may be going on my Instagram. Not going to lie.
Go for it, dude.
Oh, we only got let's see. How long do we have here before we got to go to break? We got, let's see here, about 1.5 minutes here before we got to go to break at the top of the hour. It's the birthday show, and we are taking your calls on Skype. I have to change the number, all right, because my Skype number for some reason is not working. Thank you, Microsoft. Very beautiful of you. So if you're on Skype, go to Spaced Out Radio Dave, all one word, Spaced Out Radio Dave. Chime on in. We'll let you join everybody here. Hang on out, and you could be one with us. Be one with us, because that's what we do. Science Bob is here, along with Varla Ventura, Little Richie G, and of course we got the other birthday boy, Ian Holt, calling in from New York. And yes, we're both Yankee fans. We both celebrate our birthdays on the same day, except he's older. I'm wiser. He's more successful. I'm unattractive. It's just the way it goes. So, yeah, that's the way it is.
You can't have it all,
No.
It's not fair.
We each have our gift.
He's got the wealth, and I've got the credit. It's the way it is. He hangs out with movie stars. I hang out with painted walls.
So poetic.
Very poetic. More poetry on Spaced Out Radio coming up for hour 3 of the birthday show of Ian and Dave. Little Richie G, Varla Ventura, Science Bob is here, and all of you as well. We'll be right back. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Ventura's the coolest name to have.
I know.
If you want to be on spotlight, you know?
I know. Varla Ventura, the double V, which is actually, she's a W.
Wow.
If you add them together, she's
Even
a
that.
W.
Yeah.
She's
It kind of looks like
I'll be right back.
if you do 2 capital V's in an email, I realized years ago it looks like fangs, which I thought was cool.
And a W.
That's pretty.
I mean, you know, these are the things you notice sometimes.
Well, you always give you the nickname Boom, right?
I've been called worse, so.
Well, I like that picture of you where you're sitting with a wine goblet and a picture, etc. You look like Kim Novak.
Oh, ooh, that's nice. Thank you. Yeah, you know what's cool about that picture? Actually, my brother's wife is a photographer, and she took that picture of me when I was visiting them, and I didn't realize it at the time, but it was in the background. It's kind of, you know, like in portrait mode, so you can't totally see it, but there's 2 pictures in the background, and it's both my grandmothers when they were. One's my grandmother when she was a baby, and one's my other grandmother when she was probably in her 20s. And we didn't do it on purpose or anything, but it just kind of, I was like looking at the picture and realized that she had this photo with all, you know, these women who are kind of influential in both negative and positive ways in my life. And it was just cool. It was like, oh, great. We'll take that one.
That's a very neat photo.
Oh, thank you.
I like that movie, Bell, Book, and Candle. And
I love that movie. I love that
reminds
movie.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched actually just last Halloween. I rewatched I Married a Witch, which is I think that's Veronica Lake plays this witch that, you know, kind of she tricks a guy into marrying her. And it's super campy. It's 1940s movie, right in that Bell, Book, and Candle sort of campy witchcraft. It's a real classic if you haven't seen it.
I have not, but I'll look it up.
Oh, it's a great, yeah. It's definitely these are the times to watch all the old movies, right?
Oh yeah.
And read all the old books.
Yeah, I got a ton of new books I'm plowing through.
Okay, so that's kind of what I want to ask. Like, what have you been binge watching, and what have you been reading, if anything? And you have to be honest and not just say like the intelligent answer. Like, it's okay if you're binge watching Queer Eye, you know, you just have to say it.
Well, it's almost Queer Eye. I've been watching Tiger King.
Okay, I have not watched that yet.
I haven't either.
I've been resisting it.
It is a train wreck. You can't take your eyes off it.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. It's just like you really don't. It's like a tabloid. You don't want to watch it, but you can't help yourself because you really want to know what's going to happen next.
Yeah, I mean, these people are you can't even believe they're real people. If I wrote that in one of my scripts, the studios would go, "This is too far-fetched. We can't make this." They would never make it. I mean, these people are absolutely like off the wall. And what's weird about it is there are times when you're watching it and you think they are like the most despicable people. And then other times you really like them. Right. You know, so you kind of ambivalent about it, you know, and the way they treat the animals. Like on one side, you're like, yeah, if there are hardly any tigers left in the wild, and to keep the species going, yet at the same time they exploit them, and you're angry with them, and it's your emotions all over the place when you watch it.
I'm back. We got like 3 minutes here.
We were just talking about things we've been binge watching or reading lately, since we've all had a little more at-home time.
I would definitely recommend Hunters, the Al Pacino series on Amazon.
Oh, nice. That's a good recommendation.
I will tell you, it has a spin ending.
Okay.
A twist.
I'm writing that down actually because I always forget what I was supposed to watch, and I just kind of, end up rewatching old things or something.
First off, it's the best acting Pacino's done in forever, and it is the twist in that rivals sense. I mean, it's that good. Like my jaw hit the floor, and I can't watch like a lot of movies and be surprised because I pick up on where the twists are.
Sure.
I write screenplays.
Because you're a writer, so you totally, yeah. You're like, I know what they're doing here. I know what they're trying it for.
I didn't see this one coming at all, and I was like, wow. I still can't get over it. I watched it like almost a month ago, and I still can't get over it.
Oh, that's a great recommendation.
It's fantastic. It's Jordan Peele who did Us and Get Out, and it's fantastic.
All right, guys, we got we got 1 minute here. We got 1 minute. What were you going to say there, Science Bob?
Get Out's a great movie.
Unbelievable film.
Oh, that's awesome.
What's Little Richie G's favorite movie or series?
Favorite movie
or series?
My favorite series, there's a couple of them that all are up there, but I don't know. I like what everybody else likes. I like Breaking Bad.
Mm-hmm.
I like Dexter a lot, and I like Sopranos. So lots of other ones, but.
Hey, I want to take a moment here to give a shout out to everybody participating in the super chat tonight. Grendel, BG's, Gutter, thank you so much. Kyle, I appreciate that. Autopilot, Michael, and Jules, thank you so much. We're going to kick off hour number 3 coming up here in like 10 seconds. So I appreciate everybody tuning on in. Give us a thumbs up if you don't mind. We'd greatly appreciate it.
SpacedOutRadio.com.
And here we go with the third hour.
Would you like to connect with us?
Music's
Head to SpacedOutRadio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Hour number 3 of Spaced Out Radio is underway tonight, the birthday edition. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for joining us. We welcome back everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates across North America and on the digital side on TalkStream Live and Revolution Radio. Remember, you can check out all of our archives for free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Ochlesis. Ochlesis is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets a password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including Rockin' Out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. It's my birthday show, and it's Ian Holt's birthday show. We do this every year. It's like 4 years in a row we've been doing this what the hell? To celebrate us. We can do that. We can celebrate us. We got Varla Ventura, Little Richie G, and Science Bob with us as well. Unfortunately, my phone line seems to be down, but you can reach us on Skype by going to Spaced Out Radio Dave, all one word, Spaced Out Radio Dave, if you want to check us on out and have a big play on that, because we'd love to hear from you. You got to be on Skype, though. Got to be on Skype. I appreciate that, Science Bob. Thank you so much. And hey, we're gonna continue on with the show here. I know Richie G always has a comment to make. Give us a little Hulk, man. Give us a little Hulk.
It's a little late, brother, but it's your birthday, so what the heck? Happy birthday, brother, and don't you ever forget to come on my birthday show, brother, next year in March.
Absolutely, man.
I don't have.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
It's not that great, sister. It's not that great, sister.
It's good enough. None of the rest of us could do it.
Little Richie G, the man of many voices. It's awesome. Absolutely awesome. All right. What do we want to talk about? What do you guys in the chat rooms want us to talk about, or on Twitter at #SpacedOutRadio? Put it in capital letters and we will go there, because we got some pretty smart and effective people in this room tonight. And yeah, Ian, you always got a question. You haven't been around lately, but we got you now.
You know, I watched this show the other day about the Mothman, and I don't know what to make of it. Like, that's, you know, I'm not really a skeptic on anything, but I'm always skeptical of the Mothman because it seems so, like, really weird and outrageous. And I was wondering what everyone else thought.
I don't know if it's real.
Well,
the new sightings.
I know it's so recent. Like the whole legend of it is so recent, and there's definitely implications that it's a, you know, some kind of thing that mutated because of, you know, horrific pollution or something like that. So it's always a little, it's just such a perfect science fiction plot. But then again, life can often be a science fiction plot or stranger than a science fiction plot. So it's hard to dismiss anyone, you know, it's hard to put the cryptids in categories, right? Because there are ones that are more plausible and more talked about. And then there's ones that are hardly ever seen and kind of questionable. So Mothman is definitely a puzzler one for me.
Richie, what do you think?
Yeah, the part of it that,
you know, I don't know. There's been some wild stories, you know, over the years, and you know, they made the movie wherever it took place. I can't remember right now, but
it's in West Virginia.
Oh yeah, right, West Virginia. Yeah.
Point Pleasant, I think.
Yep, Point Pleasant.
Yes.
Thanks. Yeah. So, I mean, that is very strange, you know, and from what I've heard, they still had sightings over the years, like recently, you know. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just odd.
There's videos actually. There's some videos of it actually in, I think, Chicago, of it flying through the air in Chicago and like sitting on top of a building in Chicago that I've seen. I've seen the footage on. I don't know if you guys watch this, but Paranormal Caught on Tape on the Travel Channel.
Yeah, I saw the same thing. It's a great show.
Yeah. And that really freaked me out. Now, if it was just a cryptid, I would buy it more maybe, but the red eyes is so like Hollywood, and the idea that it's a harbinger of doom, of some tragedy that's coming, makes it even weirder. You know, it's like, so it can't be just an animal. It's got to be something supernatural, which is just weird because it manifests as a cryptid, but it's not. It's got to be supernatural if it's a harbinger of doom. So it's just very weird.
Wouldn't supernatural in this situation, couldn't it be that it's a matrix reality we live in? That's why we see things zipping around so fast, and we can't see things in this spectrum, but we know we can get them with some instrumentation. Maybe we're living in some sort of matrix reality.
That's where Science Bob comes in. Hold on, Ian. This is where Science Bob shines.
I'm sorry, Dave. I was distracted. I'm so very sorry. What are we talking about?
Well, we know who's on the drugs tonight. We know who's on the drugs tonight.
We were talking about the Matrix.
Oh, wow. Oh, yes. So, look, there's lots and lots of physics that's going around that says the universe is a hologram. And it's really complicated, but it's done exactly like laser holograms are done. You project stuff on the edges, and it fills out the center. And then that begs the question: if we live in a hologram done by a computer, who is the computer programmer? So it's really interesting. Not sufficient proof has been given that this is a correct view of the universe, but it's certainly one that's getting a lot of attention.
All right, I got.
What is that?
Go ahead, Rich.
Go ahead. I'm
No,
sorry,
please.
Dave. I'm sorry.
No, you.
All right, thank you. I was just going to ask Science Bob on that with saying that. Dang it! Now I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, isn't space and everything just a mathematical equation?
So, look, our best description of it is a mathematical equation. And what we do with a mathematical equation is try to figure out what's coming next, given what we see around us. So the mathematics does a fantastic job of making these predictions, but these mathematical equations are our dreamed up constructs. The reality of space-time or whatever our universe is made of, we don't know the exact reality. And the way to show yourself that we don't know what the heck we're doing completely is you can't write down a math equation that has gravity and quantum mechanics in it. It just doesn't work. And lots of quantum mechanical things now are violating the math equations we have. So, for example, we saw these neutrinos. You were talking about neutrinos earlier. We saw these neutrinos that came up and through the Earth. Well, that can't happen. And then you go, wait a minute, but we're seeing them. So if it can't happen, how did it get here? And so now this is the first evidence we ever have in experimental data of a parallel universe. So just
with time, right?
I'm sorry?
It's not just a parallel universe, but it's a parallel universe with
running
time
backwards
in
in
reverse.
time. Running backwards in time. Yeah, it's just very strange. So this science fiction coming true with our observations. But again, these are mathematical constructs that we try to organize what we think the universe is, so we make predictions. But we don't know what the universe is made of.
All right.
Well, I think also we've shut off our mind to some of it because we are so convinced that E equals MC squared is correct that not many of us think beyond that. And I think that hurts us.
Right. All right, we got a caller here on the show here, area code 501. Let us know who you are.
This is Pat Smack Jams from the YouTube channel.
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. I want to wish you and Ian a happy birthday. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. My internet kind of dropped on me, so the show is kind of paused, trying to get it to reconnect.
Oh, yeah. We've been having troubles with the Skype all night, though, man.
Yeah. I do have a quick question.
Sure.
For the panel based on some of the things that they discussed. Considering the idea that cryptids are man-made products that are just running around out there, is it practical or something interesting to think about some of the cancerous illnesses like Progeria or the Wolfman type of syndrome, where you grow hair all over your body, or the manifestations of that DNA trait in human beings?
Oh, good question.
Okay, I'd like to comment. That's a great question. I'd like to comment on that, if I may. So there are tons of stories about people who were called werewolves, or were called some kind of like troll, or thought to be some kind of goblin, who in the folkloric record had these kind of characteristics and these traits, but in fact were people who had what we can now diagnose as some modern illnesses. So I think that a lot of our stories come from a misunderstanding of people's genetics to begin with. So yeah, I mean, like kind of to that point, it ties in with the parallel universe. I mean, when you study something like the Kingdom of Fairy, which is not just little things that are flitting about kind of pollinating your garden, but you're talking about this vast array of sort of an just underground, especially in traditional Irish folklore, there's this vast land that exists beneath the surface and comes out once a year on like Halloween. And I'm often asked and ponder this question of, can we see these things? Only certain people see them. Some people have the second sight. Are they there all the time? Are they there existing in the same thing, the same space and the same time, but you just kind of can't see them? And I, of course, do not know the answer to that. But every time I read about a parallel universe or the Matrix, I can think of this sort of Celtic construct of this other world, and in many other sort of indigenous views of the world, it's a much more spherical and circular view, and not a linear view. And so it's interesting as we discuss these kinds of things in a more scientific way, how much that matches up with traditional beliefs of First Peoples, indigenous stories, and can kind of make sense of a lot of those things.
Because for me to entertain that idea of, let's say, the DNA manipulation, and I see someone, and I hate how it sounds, saying it out loud, but I would say that it would look like this, or it would look like him, or it would look like her. And even when you say having that sight to see, what led me to Spooked Out Radio, I was actually reviewing some videos on Dogman, and I was kind of frustrated in the comment section because you had a wealth of commenters that could see something that I couldn't see. I would rewind the videos, try to slow down the speed, and still not be able to see a thing. I'm like, well, maybe I should get some glasses or something.
Yeah, I don't trust pretty much any footage I see online these days. I just, it's so hard to think that it's actually not doctored. So
very strange. Science Bob, you got a comment on that?
Yeah, I just look, this is why we're doing SkyHub. So the videos and the data and all that stuff that goes with it are done by an intelligent computer and not a human being, and we make sure that we protect the data in a way that it is very, very difficult to tamper with it. So I'm with Varla. I do not look at YouTube UFO videos anymore.
Little Richie G?
Yes, Dave.
What's your thoughts? Videos on YouTube? I know you're a big believer.
No, and the sad thing is, there's a lot of good videos out there, and then you find out they're not what you thought they were. Oh, okay, there's no more. Like with this crash in Brazil, nothing else has come out about it. And then you see there's one from Yorkshire that looks fantastic with this family talking about the light in the sky, and I want to believe it's probably the only real UFO I've seen in 10, 12 years on the internet. That's how much I don't really like the internet, because everything that's on there is, misunderstood. They just don't know what they're looking at. A lot of people are looking up, but they don't understand the sky. They don't know what a balloon looks like at a certain angle at a certain time of day with a certain camera. What setting was it on? A lot of different things can come into play that may make an airplane can look like a moving UFO if you don't know that it's reflecting the sun a certain way at sunset. Oh, it's very frustrating, YouTube.
Oof.
Yeah.
It is.
But
totally
about space worms.
Space worms?
Yeah, this phenomenon. I think it's in South America.
The sky worms, like serpents?
Yeah, that's it.
Spitting out the balls?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Some of those are really weird. I don't know if they're like a firework display, but you don't see any smoke. And there would have to be, for that to be propelled, I guess, unless it's a remote control drone spinning inside of a bunch of orbs. I don't know how that would work. It doesn't make sense. So there are some really cool videos we can't explain.
Ian.
But the
sorry.
problem
Go ahead,
is,
Rich.
Yeah, no, it's just the problem is it's never what it really seems. That's it.
Ian, you get the final word.
Well, I don't know. I mean, we keep finding out more stuff. I mean, it's like I saw this Kevin Smith movie, Red State, and at the end of the movie they had the sonic booms, like the trumpet sounding, and I thought it was the most ridiculous ending I'd ever seen. And then I started seeing videos online of these sonic booms and trumpet sounding like it's the end of the world. You know, and you know, that kind of video is so easy to fake because you're not creating any visual, it's a sound effect. So I don't know what to believe. Did the movie come first or did these sounds come first? With, you know, it's anything online, the technology, being in the film industry, the technology is so good today. I mean, today there are programs when you're doing CGI effects that will actually calculate where the sun is, the correct shadows. So, I mean, it's all done in a computer. At one time, like with the Harvey Oswald picture that they said was fake because the shadow's wrong on his face, someone would have to draw that in or create it. Today, a computer does it. It comes out perfect. So any video you see online is questionable. It's really it's made our jobs a lot harder. I'll put it that way.
Awesome. Thank you. I hope that answered your questions, man. I hope that did.
Really did. Happy birthday to your dad, Dave Sr.
Thank you.
Happy birthday weekend. Happy birthday to Ian. Shout out to everybody in the YouTube chat. I'll put these fingers to work here in a minute.
Hey, do me a favor. Do me a favor. Give a shout out. Give a shout out to your YouTube channel.
It's Pat Smack Jams on YouTube. I like to create different materials, music, content for everything that I'm interested in, just to show the passion behind it. So it might be some Spooked Out Radio stuff coming up. Who knows?
What's it?
All right.
PAX as in PAX?
PATSMACK.
FMACK.
And I'm looking at my laptop now. The connection had reconnected. Like when I tried to call in, everything kind of froze on me. So I had to restart it all. But I'm looking at it now and I see that it's smooth.
Awesome. Hey, thanks for calling in. Really appreciate that, my friend.
Nope. And I'll be looking forward to getting my Bumblefoot hot sauce and my Bigfoot D-neck here pretty soon. So
awesome.
Nice.
I appreciate that. That is absolutely awesome. We'll send you back to your listener line. I love our fans, man. I love our fans. That's pretty cool. As we got about, what do we got here? About just over a minute to go before we got to go to break at the bottom of the hour. This night is flying by, Ian. Flying by.
Oh, it always does.
I know. I blame Richie G for that. I do.
Hey.
Maybe Science Bob can tell us about how we're like in an accelerated time warp.
I'd like to know that, Science Bob.
Well, we're accelerated because we're in the gravitational well of the Earth. So there you go.
See, that's why we love him right there. No BS with Science Bob. And by the way, my Magic 8-Ball says, reply, Hazy, try again for that answer. Pretty soon, coming to Spaced Out Radio, dueling 8-Balls with little Richie G and Dave Scott.
Oh, nice. That's a great idea.
That'll be fun.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be phenomenal.
It's going to be phenomenal.
It's going to be phenomenal, brother. I just told him that, brother. I know.
More Spaced Out Radio coming up as we look to take this thing home. You know, I just we're running off the tracks. We're running off the tracks. You know what? We'll get Pullen in here during the break, and we'll bring him in. Mr. Pullen, get out. More Spaced Out Radio coming up.
It.
Let me tell you something, brother.
I couldn't believe it before. It was a Bumblefoot singing happy birthday to a Bigfoot.
That's a pretty good Schwarzenegger. That's pretty good.
It's fantastic. I mean, it's that time of the year. It's all coming down to now where the ascension is going to be. It's a new thing at the now. It's going to do it. I'm losing it now.
You're good. You're doing
Can't
great.
do it. You can only do it for a few sentences. After that, you gotta leave it. You gotta let it go.
No way.
Stick around. Let's be
What's
back.
Pullen's number?
It's all ones.
Oh my God. Oh my God, Richie.
Oh God.
That's what he told me. He just said dial 1.
Let's see if Pullen will answer.
I keep forgetting we're on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
That's all right. We're entertaining ourselves. And them
Bonus
too.
content.
This is bonus content.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Richard Pullen's in the bar right now.
Your call has been forwarded
See?
to
Oh,
an
yeah.
automatic
Didn't even ring.
See,
zero.
Let's leave him a voicemail.
oh no,
Yeah,
I can't. I can't
We
because
could have left him a voicemail.
I know, but his
Fantastic.
his phone number would have went on the air, and I don't like doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have the mute button? Everybody has a mute button.
It does not have a mute button.
Oh, look at Leah Blue.
That's
Leah
not
Blue.
that.
Oh, Lee
That's
A.
nice.
Thank you so much. Hey, I'll give you a
nice.
few claps there, Lee A. Thank you.
That was beautiful.
Yeah,
That's a happy camper.
Yeah, right?
yeah, it kind of looks like Michael Boyle rolling around there when he hears a funny pun.
Serious. I'm serious. That's awesome, Leah.
Oh yeah. I wonder if
Dave. Go ahead.
Michael Boyle. I wonder if McWyballs gets angry about funny names. I think that was.
Well, that in the earlier, he called me McGuire douche.
We're all douchebags to him.
That's it.
It's fantastic. I love it. Bring it on. Come on. I'm here. Come on. Do it. I'm here. Oh, God. Remember when the predator wouldn't attack him? And the predator felt, stick around.
Stick around. If it bleeds, we can kill it.
To hear the lamentation of the women.
He's not a tumor. I love that.
Tumor.
Get to the chopper.
I don't have a tumor.
XC is asking, Dave, are you a shape-shifting reptilian? No, I'm a jolly fat Canadian. That's what it is.
Aw. This is the show, you know. This is the show.
It's awesome. Us laughing like idiots.
And if you do not listen, then the hell with you.
Man, that's unbelievable.
That's really good.
Oh,
Ian.
man.
I mean, that's really.
It really is.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing that. I love it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's younger Arnold, and now there's older Arnold, too. That's what I'm trying to teach myself.
Older Arnold? Give us a sample.
Did you see that video of him doing the splits on his kitchen island? Did you guys see that?
I mean, recently?
Wasn't that Van Damme?
Fitness video, and his legs are I think he's advocating yoga, and he's for some reason. I mean, he's on his countertop. It's very bizarre. I mean,
Schwarzenegger?
Isn't that Van Damme?
Where he's teaching. I think there was one with Schwarzenegger where he's teaching how to wash his hands, and he has in his house, staying with him to protect them from the virus, a miniature horse, a pig, and a dog.
Yep.
What?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Arnold has gone crazy in isolation.
It's not good for some. I mean, it's not great for everyone, but certain people they're already, it's thin for them.
You can't cage an animal.
Yeah, but he's like, oh, because of the virus, I don't have my housekeeper. So he picks up a pooper scooper and he follows the horse around with the pooper scooper.
Oh my God.
No
Which
way.
also tells you that that's what his housekeeper's paid to do.
Unless he's sleeping with them and having children with them.
You know, he knew what he used to do with the housekeeper.
Exactly.
He just likes saying poopa scoopa.
All right. According to Michael Boyle, I have nipples the size of dinner plates, and Giordano told him so.
And eyes as big as saucers.
Well, the secret's out.
Apparently, my nuts are the size of grapefruits too. But I don't know.
Elephantitis.
Oh yeah.
Remember what movie?
Elephant Man.
No.
Oh, Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club.
When he said he had elephantitis of the nuts.
Oh yeah. All right.
Sorry, it's not Back to the Future.
I know.
Hey, Doc.
Marty! Get to the DeLorean! Gotta get it up to 88 miles per hour!
We rounded third. We're headed for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters, trying to control this crew tonight on the birthday show. But hey, if you missed most of this show or others, you can check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and doing a little reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Yeah. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio for the show. And what's my personal handle? Oh, yeah. At Dave Scott SOR. For the final time tonight, we introduce the birthday show panel. Ian Holt shares his birthday with me. We've done this 4 years in a row. And guess what, Ian? We're going to do it again next year. We totally are.
Hell yes.
We have a date.
Hell yeah.
We have a date. Varla Ventura is with us. She is wearing her unicorn pajamas, onesie.
Yeah, you know it.
Little Richie G.
Battlecorn.
Exactly. Little Richie G from Goof On. He's wearing his Sasquatch slippers tonight. And Science Bob has nothing on but a pair of white Fruit of the Looms and a cape. That's it.
There you go.
But we're loving them. We're loving them nonetheless. Awesome.
His nickname is The Flash.
Oh, there we go. Science Bob, I have a question for you from Captain Shirk. She goes, who the heck is Science Bob? You're a man of many talents. Would you like to read your resume to Gail so she understands who and how important Science Bob is to us?
I'm your friend.
Well, that doesn't mean much right there.
Good start. Good start.
Well, I'm a faculty member at Virginia Tech. I'm just retired as chief scientist of the Hume Center for National Security and Technology, which is a large research center at Virginia Tech. It's going to double in size to about 280 people next year. And that's too much work for me, so I'm going to become an adjunct professor and do only those things I want to do. I've helped start SkyHub, which is artificially intelligence-driven cameras and other sensors to try to find UAPs where we can get good evidence and do science on them. So I have a degree in math, and I in the electrical and computer engineering department, aerospace and ocean engineering department, and the math department at Virginia Tech. So I'm a geek since I was a kid.
And don't forget, you have your name on like 5 satellites in space.
It's more than that, but never mind. I started a company called Hawkeye 360, and we've put up a bunch of satellites to help locate radio emitters on the ground from orbit.
Yeah.
Wow.
And apparently he never loses at bingo either.
Well, that means I would have telekinetic powers to manipulate the dice.
Well, if anybody has it, it's you. You're a little weird that way.
Rule it out.
Who here thinks that Science Bob has the brain power to do that?
I'm raising my hand.
All right, Bob. Michael is asking in the chat room. He goes, "Jesus, Bob, what the hell did you do wrong to get up on this panel?"
Well, I went to a conference in San Francisco, and I walked outside because I saw this guy with this long, graying hair, smoking a cigarette, and I says, "I think that's Dave Scott." And since then, we've been friends. So I screwed up, didn't I, Dave?
You totally did. You totally did. You scared the crap out of me that first day, and I just phone you every day. And we literally, Bob and I, since February, I think there's only been about 12 days where we haven't talked. About 12.
Well, I really scared Dave when I called him and says, "Look, Dave, we're becoming really good friends, and I have all these MIB friends, and I'm going to have to call them and tell them that I have a close and continuing relationship with a foreign national who's Canadian." And I says, "We can stop being friends, or I have to call them and tell them." And he says, "Oh my God, tell them. I want to tell that story everywhere."
Absolutely. Absolutely. I get bragging rights. There is, as small as it is, like maybe half a page, there is a file on me in the Pentagon. There is a file on me in the Pentagon. And you know what?
There's a file on all of us at the Pentagon.
There's certainly a file on me. Now there's one on Dave. After that, I don't know.
Well, let's see.
I don't know.
I'm untraceable, so I know there's no file on me.
Even impressive than Travis Taylor. I mean, I hear that guy's resume every time on History Channel. I'm like, holy.
Now, Travis has got several. He's got 3 PhDs. Travis is impressive, but you can't listen to a Southern accent and think it's not attached to a brain, because Travis is really smart.
That's for sure. That's really true. That's really true. And he looks like Bam Bam, like he's some sports star in college or something. You imagine, and he's got all these PhDs. He's such a dichotomy.
Yep. I grew up in the woods of southwest Alabama, and I went off to college. And there was only 2 choices for college. It was Auburn or Alabama, because you have to be for one of those football teams. And so when I got to Auburn, I found out I could do this geek stuff. So I went on to graduate school. But I mean, it's just the path getting there was not because I knew what I wanted to do when I started.
Wow.
Well, I watch a lot of these shows on National Geographic and the Mountain Men and all that. And I mean, even guys that don't have degrees, they call themselves rednecks or mountain men. The stuff that they rig and how they put stuff together and make it work, it's very impressive. So anyone who says just because of the Southern accent, that's a real stereotype. Because I don't care if you live in.
There's a name that everybody will know. Is Chris Bledsoe. The guy is a savant. He is a mechanical genius. The guy can build anything with his hands. He's built airplanes. He's built industrial
size compressors. He built hundreds of homes. Yeah, and I think he graduated from high school, but I'm not sure. But the guy's a genius. You know, it's just you take people as they are, and what matters is the content of their character, not the degree they have.
Absolutely. And I was watching Mountain Men, and this guy, he didn't have enough money for gasoline, so he didn't own a truck. So he got a junker and turned it into a steam engine because he had all these woods. So he just chopped down the trees and throw the wood in and burn it and turn the car, the its old F-150 into a steam engine. He was driving around because he didn't have money for gas. I thought that was genius.
Yeah, it's really clever.
There's some question.
Has anyone been watching?
So
go ahead.
So Bob. Oh, go ahead.
What, Richie?
You seen a UFO?
Oh yeah. So when I was young, I built a telescope at a weird young age and sat out in the yard and looked at the sky, and I saw some UFOs, and I had some missing time events, and a major missing time event when I was coming home from university with my girlfriend. We lost over an hour and wound up in the middle of nowhere at a stop sign, no clue where we were. So, yeah, I've seen a few things. And with Chris Bledsoe, I've seen lots of orbs and other things. I visited Chris at his home and saw all sorts of stuff.
What do you mean, around him?
Oh, yeah, and overhead. With that family, it's on demand. They ask for them to come and they show up.
But so they just don't record anything for evidence, or they're not allowed to?
So that's part of the work I'm going to be doing to help Chris. He has 7,000 pieces of evidence that have never been seen.
Oh my God. Do you think he's... Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just wondering if any of you had seen The Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch. I'd love to get Science Bob's thoughts on it, because it's an actual, unlike these other shows where ghost hunters go in, this is a team of highly acclaimed, scientists that are like totally perplexed by the readings they're getting at Skinwalker Ranch in Utah.
Well, so look, the radiation burns that Travis got on his face, and the damage done to, I forget what the ranch foreman, where he was in the hospital for a while, and then the flying of the rockets through the altitude where they triangulated where a signal was coming from. They first sent up a balloon, it disappeared right in front of them. They flew these rockets up, and they saw unidentified flying objects appear and disappear every time they flew one of these rockets. In the latest episode, there was a dead cow. It wasn't mutilated, but it was dead. And they went back, and it was a strange death. They brought a vet out, and they looked at these surveillance cameras Fugel has all over the ranch, and they saw the cow go through the agony of the death, and it was kind of a reasonably widescreen shot. They could see the cow, and above it was a UFO moving around. The show has produced some interesting stuff, but it's not yet science. So they're getting some ideas of things that they might want to do a science experiment around. But there's some interesting stuff going on in that show. But look, it's History Channel. They've got to over dramatize it to have an audience.
Right. Well, straight science would be a little dry.
Very dry, and it would go on for years.
Richie?
Real science will go on there for years.
Richie,
I was going to say,
that's
just sad. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, Richie, your turn.
Oh, I was going to say.
Richie's turn.
Well, now it's kind of been a bit, so it doesn't really have much.
Well, it does now. Come on. Just let me tell you something, brother. You get it out, brother.
Okay. So the History Channel, yeah, they may over-exaggerate it. And I was going to say, that's what's sad. These guys don't know how to use just reality and make reality exciting without having to, make things louder or bigger or brighter. The story itself, I hate that. The truth is good enough for these shows, but they don't think so.
Yep.
I wanted to see if anybody thought that, well, is that because they're only allowed to show certain things? Are they being told what they can show? Because that one with Bill Burns, what was that one show?
UFO Hunters.
What was it?
UFO Hunters.
Yeah. Well, that show supposedly got shut down because they were talking about things that they weren't supposed to be talking about.
Yeah, so that video of the unidentified aerial phenomena that flew across a harbor in Puerto Rico and then went in and out of the water, there were some really angry people in the government about that video being shown.
Wow. Well, I guess that would do it.
Now, Richie, you had a comment that you wanted to make about Chris Bledsoe. To Science Bob, you wanted to ask a question.
I don't even know. It was just in the moment. I heard his name and I had a knee-jerk reaction. Do you think he's a sociopath?
No, because I find him to be an extremely nice guy. His wife is very nice. His family's lovely. And we went outside together and we saw things standing right next to each other. And a sociopath might fool me about his personality, but he's not going to make things appear that I see with my own two eyes.
Well, you know what? I met people like this guy, and they said, why don't you come on over? You'll see it. You're guaranteed to see it. I went over there 3 nights. We never saw anything. Well, and I would like to go over to Chris. If he's this guy that this happens with, I want to be a part of that. And I know it'll probably never happen. So I have to ask that because when the guy's shown on TV, he looks very robotic and very systematic in the way he moves. Like he's got everything thought out. I better not smile. I better not, overreact to these questions. He just seems like he's always thinking.
Oh, I think he is, because I think when he's told these stories in public, he's been attacked really badly on Twitter and other places. I think he's a little gun shy. And Chris grew up in a Pentecostal holiness church. And for the first 4 or 5 years after he had his original incident, the people of the church would regularly come around and sprinkle holy water and pray over him every time he came out his door. So this event has not been good to Chris. It has traumatized him. And he's very careful when he talks, and it seems like he's kind of holding back or thinking through what he's saying. And that's true. And I think it's a reaction to the trauma he's been dealt. That's my opinion. I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist. Well, I'm just telling you what I see.
Yeah. Well, what it really affects me, and I'm sorry if I'm taking up a lot of time, but when the first MUFON team that went out there, he didn't like them because they didn't believe what he was talking about.
Well, so it's more than that. It's more than that. And they had a bunch of evidence, really good evidence, like radiation detected on burns that were on the ground, all sorts of things like that never showed up in the story. And they took all sorts of samples and other things, and they had a report, and they never gave him the report. And they brought in this polygrapher, and the polygrapher asked over 50 different questions. Now, I've been polygraphed hundreds of times since 1978 when I got my first polygraph. You ask 5 or 6 questions. You repeat them in different ways. You don't ask 50 plus questions. In my opinion, they were setting him up to fail.
Wow. Well, thank you for sharing that. That's sad.
Yeah, I feel he was badly mistreated by Campion.
Wow.
Campion, he did some other things against Jaime Maussan as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Just, yeah. So if you care to, go back and listen to the Erica Luke's interview of Campion, which was aired 2 or 3 weeks ago. She does a really good job, and she kind of gets him relaxed, and he admits that he's working in Spookland in Northern Virginia.
Those darn spooks.
Yeah, well, I live the life.
Wow.
That's why I said that. Those darn spooks.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, gotta love it when we, get to the bottom of this. Honestly, but it kind of makes you wonder. And Varla, you've been silent way too long, so I'm going to bring you in here. But it just kind of makes you wonder.
Cryptids.
Well, she was fantastic with the cryptids. Isn't she brilliant? She's just brilliant.
Yeah, it was great. Great show.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, she got a great
show.
She also has great hair as well, and we appreciate that. Yeah.
Plus,
it's all about the hair.
Exactly.
It is.
Exactly. Well, we are running out of time. But Varla, this also happens in the cryptid world as well, where there are people who are consistently trying to discourage and disseminate and break down people to the nth degree, where they really have no legs to stand on in the public eye.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, there's people who are perfectly willing to believe that, a ghost moved a refrigerator across a room, but the idea of a mermaid that's just crazy. And I think it's just a slippery slope. You believe one thing, it's hard to actually, it's a fun ride though, I'll tell you that. It's hard to believe, it's hard to really fully discount people's experiences. I mean, it is absolutely, obviously there's people that have had a lot of interesting life traumas. And I do think I have found in the paranormal community and in the cryptid community to a certain extent, and also certainly just having worked for years as an occult book editor and working with a lot of authors, in addition to being an author, that you see a lot of people with early trauma in their lives that is unresolved and can be manifested as sightings or experiences like that. So I think that people get angry when you bring up things like that.
I can see that. Varla, thank you so much. Science Bob, Ian, and Little Richie G. Appreciate all of you coming on in, hanging out with us. You know what? We also got to say a big thank you to all of our callers calling on in, including Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal, who rocks us in and out of every single show. Now, fans, you've actually heard him. He does exist as he plays the song In Behind All of You. We want to say thank you so much for tuning us in tonight, because you guys were extra awesome. And we tried to be that way as well, because together, my friends, we're watching. We own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Have a great night, everybody. Remember, your ticket never expires on this Woo train, and we're going to do it all again very, very soon. So listen for the announcements. Make sure you are ready to ride. Keep your bags packed, because the Woo train will roll again very, very soon. Good night. That's a good show, everybody. That's a good show, everybody. Let's give ourselves a round of applause for that. Good job. Good job. All right, boys and girls, now we get to play while Dave gets to work here.
Well, I'm going to have to call it a night. It's 2 in the morning for me. I'm sorry. I've been already at
there's a duck
2
here.
parties this evening, all virtual.
Are you still in your pajamas? That's what we all want to know.
Well, yeah. Well, actually, I wore more appropriate pajamas to the psychic pajama party. It was really cool. This gentleman that I know that is his self-proclaimed title is a paranormal magician. Okay. He's actually in my last book. He has a story in there. And he's uncanny with his mind reading, sleight of hand, whatever it is. He's
a magician.
He's a magician.
He's really so anyway, it was fun. He does these live shows, and so he did it via Zoom, and it actually was very entertaining. And he did a strange prediction mind reading trick on me that worked. So it was cool. It was fun.
That's cool.
3 of Spookles was underway tonight, the birthday edition. I am your
Who's
host,
playing
Dave
that?
Scott.
Not me, said the blind man.
Listening in on our terrestrial affiliates across North America.
Is that Ian?
And on the on TalkStream.
Is that Science Bob?
No, it's not me.
It's not
No,
me.
it's not. No.
Is that me?
All I've got on is YouTube of Skype.
Same.
Oh, that's last night's show.
Which Lisa's is your
Dave. I have to go too, man. I have to eat something.
You go eat.
I did my show and then this, so I've been on 5 hours.
You go eat.
Yeah.
I'm going now. Let me go. Happy birthday, you bastard.
Happy birthday.
Good night, Richie.
Good night.
Good night,
and
Marla.
yeah, happy birthday
Good
to you, Ian.
Good night, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Good night. Good night. Good night.
Sorry.
Yes, it's my bedtime too. It's 3 a.m. here.
All right, buddy. Good night, Ian.
Birthday, brother. It's wonderful meeting everyone and hanging with you. Thank you very much.
You can reach
and have a good day.
By going to
all right, buddy.
Spaced Out Radio Dave, all one word. Spaced Out Radio Dave. If you want to check us on
I'm
out.
still trying.
Dave, this is weird.
I know. I'm trying to figure out why we're getting feedback here.
On Skype. I appreciate that, Science Bob.
Hey, I just mentioned you.
Yeah, it's tonight's show. I don't know where that came from.
Weird. Well, it seems
So
to have ended.
weird.
Seems to have ended. Maybe it was Ian. It's just you and me, Science Bob. All of a sudden, it got quiet in here. Got quiet.
You got 10,000 edits to do, right?
I don't know. I'm going to actually pick a previous show. There was a few too many technical snafus in this one tonight, including Bumble.
Oh, for the radio.
Yeah.
For the radio. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
We were having a little too much fun for your radio audience.
Yeah. Well, it made for great radio, but I mean, my mute button got stuck twice, and Bumblefoot dropped an F-bomb, which, rock stars tend to do. But either way, I don't care. He was on there, and
he was really gracious.
Isn't he awesome? Isn't he awesome?
Great, really gracious guy.
So I'm just scrolling through the shows here. I think I got to go back to February here and find a show that I can play on those networks.
When was Tenny on?
Well, I already played one of Tenny, and I got Tenny coming up next week.
That's fantastic.
So yeah, that one.
No, that won't do.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of looking here. What we can do here. We could do. Let's see here. What could we do? Let's see. That's when I was in San Francisco. What about January? What does January look like? You know what? We're going to play Slumax Gold. That's the one we're going to do. Slumax Gold. I'm going to download that one. You got to get going, Science Bob, or are you going to hang out?
Let's hang out.
Sure. That works for me, man. I really, really do not mind. Actually, this is a good choice to put on Slumax Gold, and I'll tell you why. Brian Atkinson.
What's the date of it?
That's February 10th. And the reason why is there's a lot of people who work in Toronto who went to school at BCIT where I did. And my guest that night, Brian Atkinson, he graduated a number of us because he was the dean of broadcast journalism, of broadcasting, actually. So the fact that I had him on the show talking about Slumax Gold, that actually works a little bit better.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I see the Spreaker deal. I'll have to play it because I don't think I heard it.
Yeah. So, actually, I can't play this one. Shit. I just remembered why. Okay, I got to find another one. That one doesn't work. That one doesn't work. Let's find another one here. See what we had in January. See what we had. Let's go haunted music. No, I think I mentioned how cold it is. Damn it, I'll have to, I know which one I'm going to choose. I know which one I'm going to choose.
You have UFO Knots with Alan Greenfield on the 1st.
January 1st? I know, but see, the problem is I think I mentioned how cold it is up here. That's the problem.
Got it.
So, you know what one I think I'm going to run is, let's see if it allows me to select Nelson Dallas, because they haven't heard this one. But that's from 2 years ago. That may have news on it. See, this is the stuff, everybody listening, this is the stuff you're getting that we have to, it's got to be from February preferably. And that's May. Trying to think when we started on Saga 960. I believe, I know our first show with them was a Micah Hanks show. So let me just find that. Okay, so we started with them there. And, we'll use a, Joshua Cutchin one. That's what we'll use.
Oh, that'll be good. That'll be good.
Yeah. Josh is good.
He's really talented. Yeah, he's really good.
He's actually coming on in a couple of weeks with Tim Renner with their brand new book. Yeah.
Good.
So that'll be really good. That'll be really good.
He was great at the Traveling Museum of the Paranormal online conference. He gave a great talk.
He's got a good beard, too. Very tight beard. Let's see here. Where are you? Where did you go? Where did you go, Joshua Cutchin? There you are. Science Bob, I'm just going to disappear. I got to go to the bathroom. You can talk to you can talk to the audience if you want. They're right here. They're listening in.
I'm happy to
tell them a Chris Bledsoe.
Talk to
them. Tell them a Chris Bledsoe story.
Let's see. Let me get the chat up. Phenomenon was awesome, wasn't it? Shanna Banana. It was really good. Kenny gave a great talk, and of course Dana and all of the Hellier crew. They were terrific. Dave joined the Civil War reenactment. He has a stake in that, being a lifelong Canadian. Let's see. Chris Bledsoe story. So just let me tell you recent stuff. So Chris has, I'm not going to tell the details, but I'll give you the big deal. Chris has been suffering from rheumatoid arthritis for over a year, and it's really put a cramp in his lifestyle. But with help from Dave and others, we got Chris a healing, and the details will be told later. But this has now been measured by Chris's doctor, that kind of the detection you do on the bloodstream that tells whether you've got rheumatoid arthritis has returned to normal. He went cold turkey off of all of his painkillers and his anti-inflammatories. And Chris is a tough guy. And so when Easter came, it was storming all throughout North Carolina. It was so violent, you really couldn't go outside. So he didn't have his normal Easter sighting. But then the weather cleared and his health improved dramatically, and he went outside, and his whole family had massive numbers of orbs, etc., over their house practically daily. So Chris has returned to health, and even in the midst of the coronavirus, he's isolated because his immune system's depressed, but he's doing really well, and he's seeing lots of activity. Chris has predictions that this activity is going to increase all over the world, and we'll just have to check and see if he's got this prediction right. So, but it's good to know, it's good that Chris is doing so well and is overcoming an affliction with the help of others. And his doctor attests to the fact that he has undergone a healing. It's pretty amazing. Let's see. Julie, where did your people come from? Are they all from the South?
I'm back, Science Bob.
That's good. I told them some Chris stories.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
So what's happening, Science Bob? What's new?
Well, working on this my part of the Sky-Hub tracker.
Yeah.
And trying to get my fancy machine learning computer working correctly with all parts and my fancy cameras and so forth. And it's coming together. I think it'll be out this summer and make a big splash, I think, and people will be able to get in and get some data, and so it's just really exciting that this is coming together so well. And Steve McDaniel, he is just the greatest embedded computer programmer that I've ever worked with. He is unbelievable.
Where was Sweet Stevie tonight?
I don't know. Well, I can tell you that Sweet Stevie has a day job, and he works a lot on this stuff. So I'm sure he's just worn out. So if he stayed up and listened to your show, he'd get no sleep at all.
That's fine. What's sleep?
Yeah, but I get to sleep late. He doesn't.
True. You're retired.
When you're retired and working part-time, you can sleep late.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And I napped 2 hours today, so I wouldn't go to sleep tonight.
Well, that's good. That's good. Science Bob, I'm going to ask you some UFO questions here, if you don't mind, while I'm doing the editing. Okay. Well, you know, I know you've had some strange experiences you can't explain. You've hung out and heard Chris Bledsoe's, and you know, you're a man of, I like to think of you as a man of great integrity. Okay. Why do you believe in this? Why do you think that this subject is extremely important, that you are now putting a full-time effort into it?
Okay, so I've seen things with my own eyes that I cannot explain. And according to people that I know, many of them are now known as part of TTSA. These guys in the Navy, they're claiming that the activity of these UAPs in and around our carrier battle groups are endangering the lives of pilots. And we know from historical record that they have shown up around our missile bases, and so it's something that we need to understand. I'm curious because I want to know what they are, but we also need to know why they keep snooping around our ships and our nukes. We've done a lot of guessing, but we don't have any facts. So we haven't figured out how they move around. We don't know why they're here, or we don't know what exactly they're doing. We just know that they're a phenomenon. So I don't know whether Rich will listen to this later, but I wanted to answer his question. The David Fravor testimony, where he and his wing person went out and found the first Tic Tac and chased it around and saw it do strange things. The reason we know it has a radar return is we know from logs that Kevin Day and his crew, who were down inside the USS Princeton looking at the radar, not up in the deck looking at the sky, saw the Tic Tacs at 80,000 feet and saw them drop to the ocean level on the radar, and successfully directed Fravor and his wingman to find the Tic Tac using the radar. So you don't need any more proof than that the radar people are telling the truth, and they did exactly what everyone has said. Fravor never would have had the encounter if it had not been for the radar people. So the reason there is a Nimitz Tic Tac incident is because the radar operators felt that these things constituted a threat to the naval carrier group, which was doing this training exercises, and gave real world tasking to Fravor and his wingman. And they went out to look and got all the stuff. And the later person went out with a FLIR camera and got the FLIR videos that we've now seen everywhere. And the FLIR videos do not show standard propulsion of any type that would let the craft fly at the altitudes they do of 100 knots all the way down to 0 knots without falling into the water. There's just there are no air control surfaces. There's no jet exhaust coming out. It's just these things are not explained, and the Navy has said they are unknown. So I think we as a species ought to know what these things are. And as a scientist, I'm just deeply curious.
Do you feel a little jaded in knowing or thinking that the government that you worked for is hiding these secrets, or do you believe that they really do not know what is going on?
Well, I know there are secrets, but the facts are we don't know what the secrets are. I believe that the Wilson documents' provenance and content has been sufficiently vetted by Richard Dolan and a researcher he's worked with, which is on YouTube, is known as Mr. X. and recently put up a video about the Wilson documents, and lots of other, Keith Basterfield and others have done a lot of work around the Wilson documents, and I believe that they are full of factual content. So the content of the Wilson documents says that Admiral Thomas Wilson, when he was the intelligence guy for the Joint Chiefs of Staff, right before he became director of the Defense Intelligence Agency, felt that he had the right to see the content of the UFO special access programs. He discovered their existence, he discovered their names, and he could not gain access to what they were about. And he met with the leaders of at least one of these SAPs that deals with whatever this phenomenon is, and did not gain admission. And according to the Wilson document, he was threatened with loss of rank and loss of his upcoming appointment to be director of the DIA in order to silence him. So it's clear that there is a classified a set of stuff dealing with this phenomenon, and they're willing to threaten people to protect it. So so that's a big deal. But so there are secrets, and we now have documentary proof that there are secrets. And just last week, the CIA released 3 million pages of formally classified documents about UFOs. So we know there are 3 million pages, Dave. That's a lot of documents. And they're not going to release anything that they believe will reveal capabilities and methods of our current technology we use to defend ourselves against our adversaries. So that's a lot that came out, but there has to be a lot more. It's just the nature of it.
See,
so it's just tough.
Yeah. Part of my issue with this, okay, and maybe I'm looking at it too simplistically, Bob, okay, is I am getting sick and tired, like a lot of people are, about this whole idea, and I call it a narrative of a threat. Okay? And the reason why I say that is if the aliens, and let's just say for shits and giggles, okay, that this is alien technology that we are looking at, that we are seeing on video, and it's incredible video, okay, but let's just say for hypothetical reasons it is. The reason why I'm getting fed up with the whole threat phenomena is people have been on this planet for a long, long time, hundreds of thousands of years. Okay. And if these aliens were such a threat, why would they wait until we advanced to take us over? If they're such a threat. This is what I don't understand. This is what picks my hide when I hear Chris Mellon or Tom DeLonge or Lou Elizondo talk about this threat phenomena. Or the politicians now talking about this being a threat, Senator Harry Reid, or whomever it is. Because I don't know about you, but if they have the military or the technological advancement to get here from that type of, from wherever they may be, I highly doubt, Bob, that number one, they have a weapon that is inferior to ours. And number two, I highly doubt that if they've been watching us for decades, that they are going to wait until now, when our technology is extremely advanced, to actually come on in and say, okay, boys and girls, now we're going to light you up because you could give us a fight. It doesn't make sense.
The military mindset is that we have thousands of men and women in these carrier battle groups and billions of dollars in assets that carry these thousands of men and women around. And anything that encroaches into the protected airspace as defined by the United States of America around these things
is assumed to be a threat until such time as they are identified. And the Navy has just told you for the umpteenth time in a different way that they're unknown. That they are unknown and encroaching is the definition of a threat. So they have no choice. It would be irresponsible of the commanders of these fleets, responsible for thousands of men and women's lives and billions of dollars worth of assets, to not view them as a potential threat. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, one of the most scream at you moments in the narrative told by Dave Fravor and Kevin Day is near the end of the rendezvous with the Tic Tac from Fravor and his wingman. They were ordered to return to their cap point, which is their assembly point, before they do their next activity. And so they were given the cap point by the air controllers in the Nimitz fleet. And so they turned to go there, and Kevin Day and his radar operators noticed that the minute they were told to go to the cap point, the Tic Tac anticipated the cap point and went over there and sat there and waited on them. So to the Navy, it screams, they've broken our encrypted communication systems and now know everything we're talking about. So all of this stuff is just viewed by the military mind, and in it's the method of thinking they have to have when they're in combat mode is this is a threat. And you got to remember, Christopher Mellon was the Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Intelligence, and he was the staffer to Mark Warner on the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence before he became DASDI in the Barack Obama administration. So Mellon comes from that mindset, and Jim Semivan was a senior level executive with the Central Intelligence Agency, and it is reported in other media that he was involved in clandestine operations. I haven't heard that come out of his mouth, but it's reported elsewhere. Their sources, I don't have any idea what their sources are. Steve Justice built lots of stuff at Skunk Works for the military, and Lou Elizondo was a counterintelligence officer for many different entities in the government. And my guess is Lou saw lots of action in his role. So it's just the history of these guys is to view the stuff that they are looking as potential threats to the United States of America. And we want they're also curious human beings, and they want to know what it is. And the deepest pockets in the world are the intelligence community and the Pentagon. They could fund an activity that would study these things and try and figure out what they are as quickly as anyone else. The downside to all this secrecy is doing science about these objects, trying to understand the nature of them, is just horrible to do that inside of a completely classified and secret environment, because it curtails the free flow of information and exchange of ideas in which science makes a rapid advancement. So they've just decided to live with the fact that they can only afford to put a handful of people under extreme security restrictions, and that it'll be slow going to get anywhere, because basically they're counting on one day a super genius showing up and figuring it all out. Because the way science is done typically is done in large groups and everybody's in the know. And that's just not possible while you have all this secrecy. And it's going to stay a secret as long as it's viewed by political and military leader and intelligence leadership as potential threat.
Interesting. Okay, so that's the military perspective of everything. And I get that, and I understand that. You know, I guess what I'm trying to figure out here is they throw around that term very loosely and very seriously, where I could see them doing that on a technical front. But when it comes to a reality, do you think they actually believe that there is some sort of threat phenomena going on?
Okay, so we don't know the entire classified history of all the interactions between UAPs and us. So we don't know if there have been altercations, people hurt, whatever. We just don't know this stuff because it's classified. But what the public knows is there's no obvious activity that's done in view of the public that would lead one to think that they are an enemy. Now, that's one way to look at it. They're not bombing cities or bombing our infrastructure or taking down our electric grid. And I know that there are these stories that there have been altercations between the UAPs, UFOs, and our militaries all around the world that have killed people, but we don't know this for sure because these are leaks and not releases. Okay, so there's that, but it doesn't look like it's a wholesale invasion because there's nothing been taken over that would cause one to think that there's been an invasion unless you are on the inside and have knowledge of things. There are all these stories. There are these narratives of presidents being briefed and getting upset when they learn the full truth and this kind of stuff. And that kind of stuff is scary. And it seems that every time this happens, the I'm going to disclose stuff presidents turn into telling us nothing. So something is learned when a person becomes president that prevents them from keeping their promise to tell us everything they find. That to me is a constant thread through the presidency since World War II. Is people that said they were going to be open go inside the presidency and learn something and then tell nothing. So it has me deeply curious about what it is they learn, and I hope one day we all learn. I don't see them bombing cities, so I don't think they're here for a takeover. Now, let me give you a different perspective. As a human being that has empathy and compassion, it pisses me off that these entities grab people and do sexual experiments on them without the permission of those who are taken. That really makes me angry.
Could that
because it's a violation.
Could that be because maybe you're a little jealous it hasn't happened to you?
No, I just don't think it should happen to anyone.
No, and you know what? I understand that, and I can appreciate that. Okay, and I have had one encounter that I don't talk about. It just scares me. It scares me.
Yep.
And I don't like it. Right? No, I was not probed or any Whitley Strieber or anything like that. Okay, it was just a scary encounter for me.
That you remember.
That I remember. And for me, going through that trauma, I can understand where you're coming from. I totally get where you're coming from. But on the flip side, if there are these backroom deals, whether they come out of the president's office, whether they come out of the NRO, the NSA, CIA, DIA, DOD, ABCD, EFG, HIJK, LMNOP, really doesn't matter. All right? It really doesn't matter. But if somebody does know that this is happening, which I tend to believe there are certain people who do know, and that's just a random quizzical thought. I'm just wondering, Science Bob, if that is on some level of importance on whether or not we should be pissed off with this, because I do believe that people do know. I believe they know a lot more than what we could ever fathom.
So I believe they know a lot too, because I've heard Melinda Leslie talk about interactions she's had with people who are in the know. You know, and I know of people that are involved with the military who have gone to these conferences where experiencers were there and they recognized them from their experiences and had really adverse reactions. So there are people that are in the know, and we don't know what they know. So it's the known unknown that has people wanting to know more a lot, especially if they're involved. And I mean, Melinda Leslie's Millab's experiences are horrible, and the stories seem to be that they're done by military, human military people in concert with other things. And then her personal abduction experiences, of which she told you some on your show and which you've heard of elsewhere, are these sexual experiments, and they're horrific because they're not done willingly by the participants. It's as if a farmer had a herd animal and bred it. And you don't ask the herd animal its permission. You just artificially inseminate it and do whatever you're going to. And that's how we seem to be treated. So we may not be the most ascended beings in the universe, but we do have consciousness and our awareness of our existence, irrespective of how narrow our awareness is, and we should be asked. And I'm opposed to the activities they do because it's done without permission. It's rape.
No, and I agree with you. I'm not arguing that. I agree with you fully that for some people this has been a vile and disgusting invasion of their life and privacy. And, you call it rape. I would call it rape. I think that's a fair assessment. But when you hear stories that, these people who've had these MyLab type encounters are running into humans in military outfits, United States military outfits, when you have these people who are recognizing others on these craft and then confronting them, when they see them, even though they've never seen the person before in their life. I mean, that's scary. That is completely scary. But is it a threat? Because if there's humans there, that means that there is some sort of connection between the two.
Well, so several of the stories about all that I've read is they are pressed into service of whatever is going on there, and it appears they view their role as moderating or mitigating what is being done, and while at the same time trying to learn how the entities work their transportation mechanisms. There are all these stories of them taking people through windows and walls. I'm sure that that's technology they would love to have if they could understand it. And I'm sure all these things are reasons they'll do this, and it's justified to them in their own minds that it's needed because they view these things as potential threats, and they're so technologically advanced over us they could wipe us out with a flick of their technological finger. And I just understand the mentality. One hopes that they are not a threat. One is a fool to assume they're not.
Yet history shows the chance of them being a threat is slim to none.
Okay, they've not been a threat yet.
Mm-hmm.
And that we're aware of. I just claim that we don't know the whole history. And until we know a lot of the history, so that we can make the decisions for ourselves based on knowledge rather than guessing or leaked stuff that's probably false or disinformation, we can only make one assumption, and that is they are a potential threat.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I mean, hey, it's very naive for anybody to sit there and say that any type of, I mean, look, we may have been visited by good aliens through this entire time. Okay? And all it takes is that one species to hook up to our signal or to follow another benevolent species in here and say, oh, look what we've found here. Look what we've found. It's easy to do.
Well, so look, okay, just, you know people, Geraldine Orozco, Melinda Leslie, Lorian Fenton, and others, who have had these experiences, and they're traumatized by them because they're a form of violence. So it's just the only safe assumption we can make is that it is a potential threat until we understand what their reasons are. And I don't know that we do.
So what do you think this is?
The breeding experiment is, if this claims that this is a hybridization program, that is deeply troubling, because you could build an infiltration army out of sufficiently near human hybrids. So that's a potential threat. On the other hand, they may desperately wish to have access to something we have that they don't. For example, strong emotions or something like that. We simply don't know why they're here, and that's the thing to me that's troubling. That we can't assess the threat without knowledge.
Joe is like, abduction is not a threat? Okay, I'm out. You calm down, Joe. You already got aliens. Man. I'm not saying that, look, I'm not saying that every species down here, the ones that are taking people, are good. I'm not saying that whatsoever. What I'm saying is, I think it's dangerous that's like saying all people are bad. All sharks are bad. You know? That's what I'm getting at. Is I'm pretty sure there's a very strong mixture of both out there. You know what I'm saying?
I don't doubt that there are differences, but until we know what types there are and what their activities are about and what their goals are and what their morals are, we just don't know.
Julie is asking.
What? What is the RH enigma?
The RH negative blood. People with RH negative blood.
I have no idea. Just don't know. It's interesting, but I don't have any clues, and I haven't done any research.
I'm not a big. I don't believe in the RH negative blood. I'm not RH negative, and I get taken. I know a lot of people who are not RH negative and get taken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say all of your well-known experiencer friends that are taken are not RH negative. We just simply don't know what that's about, because we have insufficient evidence to even make a guess.
Where's Pullen when you need him?
Exactly.
It's probably like 14 beers in. Lucky bastard. Lucky bastard. Well, Bob, I don't know. I know, I understand where you're coming from, you know, and it's better to approach with caution than just go all in.
Yep. That's my point. That's literally my point. Is it's better to be cautious and until you understand what's going on. And you know me. I'm not a rash or violent person, but I view these things as potential threats until I know exactly what they're about. And maybe people in the government do know, but if they do know, they should tell people something of what they know. My feelings are, okay, so I don't know whether you saw, what is it? Brian Kilmeade on Fox with his spew about what Donald Trump was about to do. But one of the things he spewed about was that Donald Trump was about to make a complete unveiling of lots of UFO secrets. Is that true? I haven't got a clue.
We will see. We will see. Yep. And for people like me who don't understand how top secret works, okay, that's a really good question. How does it work? How does it work? Like, for instance, I understand there's top secret and there's above top secret. All right, excuse me, not a lot of elected people are going to be able to get access into. But it stunned me, like with what you said about the Admiral Wilson, that, you know, somebody of his ilk should have been read into those files. A lifetime Navy career. You know?
So that's not that you are hitting what is the least understood part of classification. So let's suppose Admiral Wilson has a top secret with other additives to make it stronger and better. And with that clearance, he has the right to learn classified material. Now, the rest of it is what's important. If he has a need to know to do his job, that's how compartmentation works. You have the ability to know, then you have the need to know. Ability and need are two different things. So if you can do your daily job without being told a secret, you are not legally entitled to know it. And so Admiral Wilson asked for access because he believed that set of materials was in his area of responsibility. He found out he was wrong, that there was a group inside the Pentagon that maintains all those special access programs and access, and it is their responsibility to do the governance inside the agency which is doing them, which is the Pentagon, and to interact with oversight wherever that comes from. So the Pentagon controls those programs and answers to the civilian oversight and whatever that might be. So need to know is as important as cleared.
Interesting. Okay. So I'm going to use a movie focus here for a second. Okay. I think a lot of people were caught off guard in 2008 when the first Transformers came out. And all of a sudden there was this guy from Sector 7 who wanted to let them know about the video up on Mars that the rover got. You remember that part?
I remember the show.
Okay. So here's this, I guess you could call him a man in black or whatever, who all of a sudden appears out of nowhere and gives the Secretary of Defense this video. And when he says, "How come I've never heard of you?" The guy says basically you weren't on the need to know basis. Are there groups like that out there that are controlling this type of phenomena?
Absolutely. That's exactly how it works. They're compartmented. So there's a box, and inside that box is everyone who's on the bigot list. The bigot list is the name of the people who have the need to know and meet all the criteria for getting into the controlled access program. And no one outside of that box may legally be informed of the content or the existence.
That's amazing. So in something like UFOs, would that be above the top secret clearance of even the president?
That is really hard for me to see how that's possible, because the president of the United States, by virtue of having been elected to the chief executive office of the land and the commander-in-chief of all the armed forces, is the controlling authority for classification without the need for being vetted. So once you're elected, you're cleared. And should you want to know, you have the right to know. And it is my opinion that presidents are manipulated into what it is they get to see and don't get to see, and they may be willing because it gives them plausible deniability about things they don't really have control over or may not even understand. So it's just, the system is convoluted. It's done for good reasons, but I got to tell you, it makes it really hard to make rapid progress for science because you can't openly discuss things. There's this tension between need for advancement and need for protection. And this tension is dealt with all day, every day by people who are on the inside.
That makes sense. I get that. Leah has a question here. I don't know if you could answer it, but she goes, why are the government looking at the red and orange orbs more than the others?
I can attest to the veracity of that statement, given things that I've been told, but I don't know the reason.
It's kind of interesting.
Yep.
It's kind of interesting.
People that Diana Pasulka interacted with and people that Chris Bledsoe have interacted with who are in a position to know have told me that that is true, but I've never been given a reason.
Okay. Final question for you tonight, Science Bob, because I do got to get going. I got to get to bed. I got to work in the morning. Out of people out there in ufology, one of the biggest questions I get asked, and we talk about this a lot, is who can you trust and who can't you trust in this field? Now, I realize on the can't trust, you're not the type of guy who's going to name names because you're professional. You're a pro, and you know, that's just the way it is. By the way, talking cannolis tonight at the beginning of the show, the first post I bring up on Facebook tonight is about a cannoli. Weird. Thank you, Facebook. Appreciate that. But no, what I'm trying to say is you know, you've now sat on the outskirts. Excuse me. Of this field for about the last year and a half. You know, who's trustworthy out there research wise?
So given the things that Richard Dolan writes in his books, he's extremely carefully researched when he writes things in these books. I trust that those are mostly right, and when they're not right, he issues corrections in terms of written papers where he says, you know, I got this right or I got this wrong. And I think that that's useful. And reading his books was very informative. Most of the stuff that I've read from Stanton Friedman were really, really interesting and very informative. So but I can't know everybody. So what I do to assess how much I should trust a source of information
is the quality and nature of the references they provide when they make claims. So any document or video that I read or watch, I care about the sources of information that were used to put these things together. So reading a thing or watching a thing is the first step. The second step is, are they lying to me or not? And one way to assess that is look at the references and the source material they use to put it together. And that's just the best you can do. After a while, it's a value judgment. I value this person because I judge them to be truthful because they give me references that I can go check myself.
Perfect. Science Bob, thank you, buddy.
My pleasure.
I appreciate that. And I appreciate all of you out there for hanging on out with us on the birthday show. I'm dead tired. I can only... I hit my wall.
Yep. It's 4 a.m. and I got to go get some sleep.
Yes, I want to say thank you once again to Grendel, BG's, Gutter, Kyle, Autopilot, Michael, Science Bob, Jules, Lee, and Go Teresa for hopping on the super chat tonight. Much love to you all. Thank you for your admiration and support. We're going to do it all again Monday. Don't forget, no show tomorrow night. Sunday will be Michael W. Hall, and then I'm back on Monday with Butch Witkowski. Everybody. So thank